Are you sure? I don't feel like you are.
I think so. We'll see. We'll see how
I'm
this
hitting
session goes.
record right now.
That's the right
And we're
answer.
starting.
Ay,
Otis, whenever you
papi.
want to start, just start. Like right now, if you want to
You know,
start yours, now's a good time.
Peng Shun is kind of like China.
Yeah, kind of. Kind of.
Well, I think
Kinda.
you're allowed more than one girl there, though.
Oh my God,
What?
that's
In
my kind
China?
of place.
Well, I mean,
No.
if you
That's in a
got enough
different
money in China, it doesn't matter.
China,
aspect.
China,
Fair.
Ping Chilling. Sorry.
Anyway, so here we
I mean,
are.
I guess that applies here too, though.
Here we are back for another session of Adventures in Loxos. We've been gone for a while. It's been like what, 3 weeks now? About
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Something like that.
Yeah, 3 weeks. But you know, a good campaign never dies. Makes you kind of wonder why ours hasn't yet. No, I'm just kidding.
Facts.
We won't let it.
Yeah, because we won't let it die. With that said, I want to go back to this whole thing we were talking about with dragons wanting to punch me in the throat because just for the record, just to recap the audience at home about
Multiple
this conversation, well, today's reason is reason 1152 is because
Yes.
I'm one of those guys who
That was
knows what he
generously
wants
low
when
number.
Yes.
I
feel
will
like
go
it
into
should be higher.
well, I don't know. I was just you know, I don't know. I don't know the number. Give it 10
It's
minutes.
incalculable.
We'll add a 1 to that. Anyways, but so I'll go into a restaurant and I'll order the same thing every time, but every once in a while I'll decide, well, maybe I want to get something else. I'll look at the menu for a minute and then decide, no, I'm just still going to get the same thing. Dragon.
It's so fucking annoying, dude.
Yeah. Is it annoying? Okay, so what I want to ask, Dragons, is it annoying that I get the same thing every time, or is it annoying
It's
that I
such a
have
waste
the
of my fucking time.
Is
Yeah,
it
you have
the
the
odd-
audacity
It's a
to
combination
waste
of
my
both.
fucking time.
I had the audacity
Well,
to
no,
want
no, no,
something
no,
new?
no.
Is that what it
I'm
is? Or
fine with people being generic, fucking like plain ass people. I'm used to that. Right? Like, I enjoy a little excitement in life, so I'll try different shit. I don't expect other people to do that because I understand they're fucking stupid. That's fine. But you're wasting my fucking time by pretending that
It's
you're
not-
some fucking unique creature that's going to want something new. No, the fuck you're not. You're a basic
It's
bitch. Get your basic
Jesus.
bitch shit and shut
Jesus
the
Christ.
fuck up.
okay, first of
That's
all, some places I have 2 or 3 items that I order on a regular basis. All right. First of all, it's just that every once in a while I think to myself, well, maybe
You already know
I need
what
to
you
change it
want
up.
because you have a rotation. People like that. They always. You go to this place because you have the hankering for that said item. That's one of the 3 things that you want. Yes, but that's why
Yeah.
you went there. Not because you're looking for some unique experience because you want to broaden your fucking horizons. You're going there because you want the chicken fried steak, not the fucking loaded fucking fries from hell that are going to give you fucking gut busting pain. No, you're never going to fucking try that. But you're going to pretend you are because you're a bitch.
Actually, I get the
It's,
freaking loaded fries as the appetizer, you penis. First of all, just so you know. All right? That's my.
Y'all chill.
That's not the point.
That is the point.
Bear in
Let's,
mind, it's the
we'll
combination of both things. It's a combination of both things. There's nothing wrong with going to a reliable place for a reliable thing.
Yeah, there's nothing
However,
fucking wrong with that.
it's the problem
You
of
care
of
about
wanting
the
to,
rest of the shit.
yeah, it's the problem of getting this same thing that you know you're gonna get and taking forever to pick it.
I want
If you want to
to
broaden your horizons, you'll go to a new place.
look.
You know.
Well,
It's bad
if it
enough
makes
that
you-
I've got to wait fucking
it-
85 years because this fucking people these
You
days
normally-
in food service suck.
First of
I've
all,
got to wait for your stupid ass.
I'm always the last one to order, anyways. I make sure everybody at the table gets their food first.
So not only do I have to order before you, be quick about it. Now I've got to wait for you.
Well, I mean, I could order for you if you'd like.
Oh my god.
I
could get princess trim.
You would definitely get
Like a
assaulted for
Jedi.
such things. That's a guaranteed way to get hit.
I don't even worry about it till everybody's ready anyways. I just kind of peruse until everybody's ready anyways. So it don't really matter to me.
I have to wait on him constantly.
Well, okay. See, so this is the problem that you're having a similar problem that I'm having, only for a different reason. See, because I am pretty freaking reliable on what I'm going to get. Like if we go, I don't know, if we're doing like fast food and we go like, let's say to Burger King or something, odds are I'm going to get the Texas Whopper. More likely, more often than not, it's Texas Whopper every time.
Burger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper.
You go
Big Mac,
You go to certain places, I just
Rodeo
instantly
burger all the
know.
way.
My problem is that it's like you've been to this place before. How come you don't know what you like already? And how come I'm having to wait for you to look at the menu on a Burger King, at a Burger King? You see what I'm saying? That's my problem.
Okay, so it'd be like,
Ready.
for example, I go to Lamplighter, right? It's a Chinese food restaurant.
Lamplighter. Oh man.
Chinese food restaurant.
Yeah.
I know that every time I go to Lamplighter, I'm getting the Singapore noodles,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
In example, if we went there, I know I know what I'm getting every single time. It's like if I were to be sitting there and be like, am I gonna get the chow mein? Am I gonna get the yakisoba? No. I know I'm getting the Singapore chicken or the Singapore noodle. You know? But I could also waste everybody's time and be like, am I gonna get the Hunan chicken?
I think the last time, and this wasn't a waste of anybody's time, but the last time it took me a long time to actually order anything was, and this was the story I was going to tell before I said, I'm going to save this for the recording, was I went to the Olive Garden and wasn't sure what I was going to get. And then I decided
Unlimited breadsticks.
And then I did, well, yeah, without a doubt, unlimited breadsticks and the salad. I was tearing that up, but I decided to get the spaghetti, and then add the Italian sausage and the shrimp to it, right? So the waitress is standing there. Oh yeah, totally Big Back. Yeah, I'm a DM named Big Back. Anyways, so
facts.
Nice.
They so the waitress, she's sitting there and she goes, "Do you want to add the meatballs?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Can I get the Italian sausage and the shrimp?" And she goes, "Oh, okay, Italian sausage and shrimp." And I went, "And you got the meatballs, right?" And she just stops everything she's doing, and she wasn't wearing glasses, but she gave me that look like, when somebody tilts their head down and they
You wanted to look over them.
Yeah, like she's looking at me over her glasses, only she doesn't have any. And she's looking at me and she goes, you just like this, you want the meatballs, the sausage, and the shrimp?" And I looked at her and I just looked at her just dead in the eyes and I said, "Look at me."
Nice.
I said,
"Look at me." Should have been obvious.
I was like, it's not going to waste. I promise you.
Bitch, I want the menu. Now hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, I want.
And if you don't bring it quick, I'm liable to start gnawing on it.
like Ron Swanson, I want all the eggs and bacon. So how many eggs and bacon? You didn't hear me correctly. I said all of the eggs and all of the bacon. Yeah, exactly.
We did something similar not too long ago. We went out to the steakhouse here, and I think we ordered almost.
We ordered like 3
half the menu, and it's like it's just me and the boy, dude. Like, there's no call for it, but we did it.
We were hungry and we ate.
Yes, there's people that had like a family of 4 that had less food than we had.
Sometimes you just got to, man. Sometimes you just got to. I ordered myself a crawfish broiled just for me.
Nice.
one time, and yeah, and I tore it up. It was like $50. Just
Yeah.
I felt so guilty. I was sitting there just scarfing it down, going, "I can't do this ever again."
You're like
My
breathing hard.
my tears are like falling down into the bag and it's making the food salty, and I'm just like, "This is delicious."
He said, "You're stupid as fuck." There was no tears. There was always smiles. I was like, "Yeah, I'm a fat bastard. I like it."
Yeah. All right, so let's do our intros then, everybody. Let's do our intros. So, welcome, you golden wonders out there, joining us for another session of Adventures in Loxos. I want to introduce our cast of characters here. We have starting from the top. Oh, hold on, I'm going to turn off my
And
notifications. So
he's gonna make it drop.
so I'm not getting a whoop every 10 seconds because I know it's gonna go
about to
down.
go crazy.
It's about to go down.
It has begun. Looking at.
Yeah, it has
Smell
me.
right. Cooking.
Do you smell what the rock is cooking? Doom, doom, doom. You will not receive stop notifications. Okay, forever. Don't
What a
ever send me
bum.
another one ever again.
Damn. Type shit.
When you start messaging him directly.
Yeah, yeah.
Just start sending the fucking gifs to him.
Yeah, everybody just starts like spamming me. Everybody just starts spamming me notifications like, you can't get away from us.
He's gonna mute us and forget that.
Hurry
he
up.
did it.
And then
Everybody
forget.
DM him racial slurs.
Where's he at? Where's he at?
Okay, so okay. Starting over. Starting from the top, we have AGTX, the Dragons.
I will kill you, slut.
And he will be playing the human slayer / dragon shaman / totem of the red dead dragon god Fenrir. And slayer is our English is hard. Is our homebrew is our homebrew class that we're tooling with. And yeah, thing you got to know about Quill here is he's not a magic user, but he knows how to cast punch.
Yeah, he cast that shit on fucking repeat.
Yeah, he casts
Pancake.
punch. Yeah, his diplomacy is kill it and then poke it with a stick.
He also
Oh,
can
make
cast
guns.
throw half.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been a while since I've cast thrown people, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, he don't cast fireballs, he casts
Nice.
things. Yeah. If we had a gnome, it'd be gnome splash, not acid splash.
Nice.
That.
Although he does have a Gargus on his back right now, so Gargus, you might want to watch it.
You might get chucked.
Mushroom splat.
Pay someone else to get thrown.
Aim for the head. Give him a mushroom stamp.
It's gonna be the ugliest mushroom stamp ever as well. That's just
Right on the forehead. But that's that's Quill. I mean, if that conversation don't sum it up, I don't know what will.
fucking facts.
Yeah. Then we have Kassid 69.
Ayo.
All right. I got quiet that time. I was gonna let you.
That's
then you
because
took
she was
forever
saying
to do it.
slurs off mic.
No. The one time I actually like tried to give them an opportunity to talk quick, that they just like take forever to do it.
I was busy.
And Kassid will be playing Agaricus, the Mycetid Pion Mender. A Mycetid is a little person, like 4 foot tall, about the size of a halfling. mushroom person, like mushroom folk, you know, humanoid mushroom.
Yes, I am person.
Yes, I am person. I am real. Gonna go into a whole monologue like the evil Captain Kirk. I want to live. Live.
Discussing the philosophy of humanity.
I am person. I are
Yeah, but
baboon.
I am Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I a real boy, Papa?
The
Not when you say it like that. You know what? I take it back. I take back what I said about saying it with your chest.
No, it's too late. It's too
No
late.
to say it with your chest.
Everybody got quiet for that too, and you popped that off, and everybody just stayed quiet. Oops,
We're not touching it.
oops, the record just skipped, and everyone heard you let one rip.
Yeah.
Exactly. No Catholic priests are here.
So, anyways, for those of you at home who were curious of what a micated pion mender is, a pion mender is also a homebrew class for the micated specifically because it's a part of their subrace. See, Agaricus is the subrace known as an androgyne. In our campaign, micated are born like actual plants. You know, they're asexual. They don't have male or female. Well, they kind of have both in a sense. Like plants don't need sexual organs to reproduce, basically, and so mycetid are born that way. But as they get older, they develop their reproductive organs and either become male or female. Well, sometimes you get their subrace, which is known as an androgyne. They never develop, and they become these like kind of like these little mutated monstrosities, but they develop these special gifts, and that becomes their class. And in Agaricus's case, they became a pion mender, which is like a little heal and buff machine, who is capable of doing an interesting amount of damage from time to time. So, yeah, that's Agaricus. Also, Agaricus has become the elder of the pion menders, which is a whole long story, and I recommend you all just checking out previous episodes for all of that. And that is, that is Agaricus. Then we have Icy Hot 2305, not to be confused with Icy Hot 2304. And he will be playing the half drow, half human, deep druid, Zoltan Heisenberg. And what a deep druid is also a homebrew class. It's not your mama's druid. Not your mama's druid. Not even your mama's druid. Mama's. They don't. Everybody's being quiet right now. I know why you're waiting. I know what you're waiting for. I know what you're waiting for. Everybody gets. Anyways, it's on the way. It's coming. All right, it's coming.
That's what she said.
So what?
To me.
Give it to me.
So what a deep druid is they don't get their power. They're like the antithesis of what a regular druid is. They don't get their powers from their nature powers from blue skies and rainbows and sunny beams from heaven. No, they get them from the underground, subterranean, caves, mountains, the cockles.
Oh,
They get them from the cockles. Y'all need to look up what cockles means. It doesn't mean what y'all think it means. I'm using it correctly.
You shut your fucking mouth
no,
right now.
Don't take this away from us. He gets it. Yeah, that is. And Zoltan is. He is probably in. Well, he's one of the wild cards of the group. We've got 3 of them. We're a party of 3 wild cards, which is chaotic. It's very chaotic. But Zoltan, he's got some crazy little time manipulation going on. He's not an orphan. He's kind of an orphan, but he's not an orphan. He's a half drow. And in his case, half drows don't get drows normally because they're subterranean elven species. They get like dark skin and white hair, but half drow are more white skin, dark hair. Like they're almost albino with really dark hair. So it shows all the rest of the drow that they're not fully drow. And in a xenophobic culture like the drow, that yeah, that's pretty much just an invitation to get spit on every once in a while.
You-
But but Zoltan's with us. But Zoltan's with the party, and he's holding it down. Then we have Tempest Inferno, who will be playing Otis Hirokin, our halfling cleric / favorite soul forward slash champion of
Forward slash.
Obad High. Fork set. Anyways,
Yes.
champion of Obad High. And that is Otis Hirokin.
Yeah, tonight's gonna be a long
He-
session.
Yeah, it will. Especially if you don't let me get through these intros. Anyways, yeah. Otis is one of the wild cards of the group, as is any halfling that is a part of an adventuring party. But the thing about Otis is that sets him apart from most halflings is Otis is painfully aware, maybe too aware, which has given him a bit of an anger management issue. While most halflings can have comments about their height and not even think anything about it, Otis does not. He does not abide, man. The dude
But
does
don't
not
play by
abide.
those rules.
Yeah, Otis don't play by those rules, and he is one of the wild cards. Otis sometimes likes to bite off more than he can chew. And when I say sometimes, I mean like give it another few sessions. Maybe even this one. I don't know.
Maybe
We've
every
been gone
session,
for
you don't
3
know me.
weeks. He may be itching.
You don't know what I'm about to do.
It's awesome.
But Otis is also probably out of the entire group, he is also probably the only one with the purest of hearts. So he's got a lot of heart. Yeah. When moral conundrums come up, Otis is probably the first one always to jump on, well, this is the right thing to do, so this is what we should do.
Yeah, the moral conundrums that he
Because
causes.
he's the man.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, he's the one that's causing the conundrum, but he's always the one that offers, boy, he really is like the government. He's a politician. He introduces he causes the problem and then introduces the solution.
What a guy.
Yeah, give
What a
it
lad.
This is why
give
you
it
need to vote
another
for me.
give it another few years, we'll see Otis at the DNC. But yeah, that's Otis Hirokin. Then we have Mindoc, who will be playing Mindoc. Our
Greetings.
Greetings, he says. I don't know why that was so funny. It was just ominous the way he did it. Greetings.
Salutations.
He will be playing our high elf wizard. And still can't say too much about Minddoc's past, except Minddoc is one of the founding members of the group who had to, as a player and as a character, had to leave for a while and has returned. But he did not leave on the best of standing. Well, he left on the best of standings. It's just that he made a reappearance that wasn't so good, and we'll get into that later.
He created a certified hood classic.
Yeah.
Well,
And his return to the group is it's problematic for the rest of the party, to say the least. They're unsure of why he is back and what he wants. But he's back, and as we continue, more of that story will play itself out. I promise. But that is Mind Doc. Then we have, last but certainly not least, we have Android, who will be playing Lord Android Frizen of House Frizen, who is a bard / paladin, which, because we play 3.5, we use the Unearthed Arcana book, which makes the paladin a prestige class, making it all killer, no filler. But he's also the Saint of Corlon Lorethian, the god of elves. And Android is, he's had a funny character growth, starting off as a vagabond, running around with a trope and playing his music, to basically becoming a champion, a prophet, if you will, of Corlon Lorethian, and then learning that he's the long lost heir to a noble house. So, yeah, he's just had to deal with a lot, a lot, and he's learning a lot as he goes. I would also say that he's probably got one of the purest of hearts as well in the group, and
He has good intentions.
he strives he strives hard to do good. He strives to be fair with everyone, is the thing. He strives to be fair with those who aren't even striving to be fair with him, which speaks a lot about him, you know? But then again, what good does it do you to be good to somebody who's already good to you? You know, what have you gained from that? So, you know, I'd say he's on a path. But that is Android Frizen, our half elf, half wood elf, half human. I don't know if I mentioned that or not.
Certified edgelord.
Certified edgelord. And then there's me, Lord Pogg, your humble DM. I'm.
Oh, he's still salty about the restaurant.
Yeah.
Would be too.
I don't make everybody wait. I don't know why. I make sure everybody's ready to order before we order, and then I let everybody order first. Because I'm humble. I'm so humble that I'm a humble DM. Anyway.
Humble people don't label themselves as humble, just saying.
I mean, fair enough. Originally, it was just meant to sound like a good intro type thing. You know, most DMs say something stupid like that. So I was just trying to join the club. Anyways, so I'm Lord Pogg, your piece of crap DM, and I want to thank all of you at home for joining us on another session. I want to thank them old school gamers for letting me DM for them once again. And yeah, so I guess without further ado, are you all ready to finally play some D&D now that we've gotten through this 20-minute intro?
I love our
Fucking
intros.
nap.
Intros are great.
Roll that beautiful intro. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo.
Gotta love that intro.
Wait, start again. I wasn't ready.
Doodle, doodle.
Once
Lord-
again, for the people in the back.
Yeah. Laura Flynn Boyle's gonna walk up to me. I'm pregnant.
There we go again. I didn't have my
For
glasses
some
on.
reason, it's the Family Guy intro.
Let's do the Thelma and Louise ending. All right, so
Fair enough.
just as a brief recap, you guys managed to escape the legendary Shinigami King after almost getting completely wiped out by him. Zoltan, I gave you your hero dice for that, right?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
those.
Okay, cool. But you guys managed to survive it. And in the midst of all that, you guys separated again. Quill went to go speak with the Feng Zhang mercenary group about getting his Feng Zhang mercenary Ronin. He took Agaragis with him and Yucca. While going there, he met excuse me, good grief, what is going on? Hold on, I need a sip of agua real quick, because apparently
Not only can he
That-
not English,
That vape go down different.
there's dust in the vape.
If you hit the pinch of it too hard.
I smoke it all the way down to the butt. That's where they keep all the heroin. Anyways, so
When the
so-
when the base starts to taste like an email.
he says,
so on your way to the Feng Zhang mercenary, you met Dirk Danger, another adventurer with a group known as the Players, who are like a circus group, but they're secretly adventurers like you guys. And they introduced you to Dragon Lily, the one of the quest givers, as they call her. And basically all Dragon Lily wanted to tell you is to get out of the continent of Pangshun. You guys are already causing way too much trouble. She's fully aware of who the Inglorious Few are. She said that most quest givers are aware of who you guys are. You guys are legendary adventurers. You're kind of the reason. You're one of the reasons why they started the Adventurers League in the first place. You know?
all I heard is she wanted to be mommy. All I heard.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it was kind of an up and down roller coaster with you, because one minute you're like in love with her, and the next you're like, she's getting on my nerves talking to me this way. So, do with that what you will.
It's one of those where Quill's like, he's gonna have to go full Wayne Brady on her,
Yeah. Well, it's like an aeroplane ride, like
Oh, it's gonna go
red
up and
hot,
down, all right.
red hot chili peppers. You like pleasure spiked with pain, and
Mark
there you go.
McGuire. I'm a hitter.
Son of
So but yeah,
Yeah.
she just told you get off of Pangshun, because everywhere you guys go, you cause these like travesties, basically these continental wide freaking rifts, and she requested that you fix it by leaving, by getting off the continent. You said okay, basically, and then went and got your
did
Fei
not
Zhang.
fit.
Yeah, went and got your Feng Zhang mercenaries, who are Feng Zhang are a race of panda bear humanoids, and you went and got them, and then proceeded to do the exact opposite thing that you told her you would do, because you decided to go to the Golden Lotus Monastery instead, and and visit with the monks there, because
It
they're
happened, bro.
yeah, well, I mean, fair enough. You do you. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when she told you to leave and you said okay and left, she probably sat there and thought to herself, they're not going anywhere. So, but
They're so not fucking leaving.
yeah, you got an invitation from the Grand Master Yang Pan Lu to come and visit with him because he's interested in this concept, the secret to power, the secret that you've been searching for. And so, you know, he's curious about it himself. So he's kind of invited you, well, not kind of, he has invited you to go back with him to the Golden Lotus Monastery to philosophize about this whole thing. And you agreed. So you, Agaragos, and Yucca have decided to go to the Golden Lotus Monastery. The rest of the group went with the Demon Sword Saguchi to meet with a legendary Oni, the legendary Oni, known as Shuten Otakimaru, who wanted to make a deal with you guys that if you helped him eliminate the Tengu, he would help you eliminate the Shinigami, which would effectively make him, make the Oni the premier demons of the continent. You guys rejected that notion, proudly, and so he left. But you did also speak with a Kuatoan alienist who...
Oh, right, because he can't read.
Yeah, who told you? Yeah, who told you? Yeah,
I made him an offer he can't fulfill without some fair amount of work.
Yeah, he gave, but he did give you guys a riddle on how to find Tachesis, so you Quill can fulfill the prophecy that the Dragoon are wanting him to by freeing their goddess Tachesis from her celestial prison, we'll call it. And he also gave you some information regarding Toldoth. Mindoc and Android spoke a little bit about Toldoth, and Mindoc got an interesting lead on who he could talk to more about Toldoth, finding out that a gentleman by the name of Lucchese Killian in Cudgel City may know more about this. Because out of that whole book, most of it was just gibberish and folklore, if you will. But there were kernels of truth in there. And Mindoc is curious as to which one is the truth, what is truth and what is fiction. And then Android learned that Lucchese Killian put a curse on him and Elsa. And so Android now needs to talk to Lucchese Killian about this curse as well. But Android also found out that Elsa is running around the time stream, slowly losing her mind.
Silly girl.
Elsa being one of the former members of the Inglorious Few as well. Well, then Android pretty much got a lecture, a very polite lecture from his liaison at his noble house. Oh man, his I just lost his name, Sebastian.
Yeah.
And Sebastian told him he needs to come back. And so the rest of the group left, the rest of the party left the continent of Pengshun, returned to their home continent of Siren, and ended up at Android's noble home and the party's de facto base of operations. You know, we're in this now 9 years, and this is the first time you guys have ever had like a solid base of operations. So, you know, that's something, y'all.
Yay!
That's a milestone.
Well, we could have used Uquil's farm.
You could have.
We kind of did a little bit, but it wasn't like this.
We just didn't stop by often.
Yeah.
Kind of like Android's Manor. We don't stop by often, henceforth why we got a picture.
Yeah, you guys don't group there. And I mean,
we've been running and gunning for a minute.
This is true. You guys don't
since Pale Night
group there nearly enough, that's for sure. But I mean, whatever. Well, I say that. Y'all have
Right.
Yeah, I guess you could say Agaragis already had like a base of operations in their little pocket alchemy dimension. So, yeah. And
Yeah, who needs a house?
you could say Mindoc has a base of operations already with his dimensional mansion. So, but, and yeah, for the
You
most
also
part.
have a trust fund.
Yeah. But, yeah. And so you guys have returned there. And that's where we left off last session. You had made it back to House Farizon in the capital city of the nation of White Sword, which the capital city is also called White Sword. So, you are in the the nobles district, the noble district, where all the different noble houses are, and yeah. So you all landed, and Sebastian came out to greet you all in his robe, and yeah, he began to. As you guys land, I don't believe that Otis has ever been here before, if I'm not mistaken.
Or Mindoc, I don't think.
I sure as hell haven't.
Yeah, Mindoc or Otis.
We also blew up the fountain.
Yeah,
I mean, I might have seen it before.
yeah. This is a yeah. You did blow up the fountain. Yes, yes. Which made Sebastian pretty upset. He was like, "Oh, that fountain." he, he was talking
I
about
told you
some.
we'd be here within the hour.
Yeah, he was talking about some famous guy he got to do the fountain for him, whose name I can't remember now. I'm just gonna say his name is Jean-Jacques Jean or something. I don't know. But
Michelangelo?
You wish. No, but
Aw, dang, you're right.
but even for those of you who have been here before, Android and Zoltan, the house is completely different now. It is much larger and has an entire court, outside court built around it now, where the buildings are now circling around this entire court area, blocking it in completely. On one side of this chain of the house, you could call it the east wing, you know. You can see that there are people sitting out even at these late hours or wee early mornings, however you want to look at it. There are people still sitting out on benches and stuff, drinking tankards of ale and beer and different kinds of brews and stuff, just kind of talking to each other. It's a sleepy little scenario, though. There's no real ruckus or commotion going around. On the other side of this court, the west wing of the house, you can see that there's different stations set up, different entrances set up going in here, as if it's just a line of shops, different shops, and each one has a different sign on it. You got one for armor, one for potions and things, and there's one like that's set up with like a holy symbol, as if it's like a small little cathedral, if you will, and a few others that are just still open. Nothing's really done to them. Think of it as like space for rent at this point. And then you have the main building right there, standing in front of you. You know, this 4-story mansion, just that's been built up even bigger and decorated even more with banners holding the symbol, the family crest of Farizon on flags. And Sebastian, he comes out and greets you, and he's like, "Oh," and as you say to him, Android, "I I told you we'd be here within the hour. He's just like, oh, yes. Yes, you did say that. I should have realized that meant that you were going to have to break something on your way in, and it would just happen to be a priceless fountain. Oh, one of a kind, but...
But you can't put a price on spectacle, Sebastian.
He says, quite right, Master Farisen. I'm... Honestly, a fountain's a fountain. I may not be able to get him to come back and remake it, but I know I think Jean-Jacques Jean is in the area, and he's even better. We'll make it bigger, better, faster next time. He says,
He's just kind of like, I'm just playing, Sebastian. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to land directly on the fountain. That's my mistake.
I'm just glad you're back. And he like gives you a courteous bow. And then he looks over at Otis and Mindoc. He says, oh. And then he looks around and doesn't see a Garrigus or Uquil and goes, you lost 2 and you've gained 2. He goes, what is the weather like in Seattle? No, he says...
Nice.
He says, you lost 2 and gained 2.
Always raining.
Yeah. He says, you lost 2 and gained 2. Oh. He says, well, I suppose introductions are in order, but they can wait. First things first. And then he just like makes like a grand gesture and just shows you everything he's done. He's like, this is the courtyard. He goes, so you haven't even seen the outside of what the rest of the compound looks like. I've got high walls blocking it. We got a greenhouse and garden and all sorts of things going on out there, sir.
Android gives him a polite bow and he says, it's perfect, Sebastian. Thank you.
He says, no, thank you. He goes, I know I complain about your adventuring a lot, but it's the sheer amount of wealth you somehow come across out on these adventures that is affording all of this. He goes, however, there's a few problems with that. He says, but first things first. And he kind of like shivers a little bit. You guys happen to just notice that it's cold. It's cold outside. Like when you first showed up, because you showed up in like a basically what is the amount of a summer thunderstorm, you didn't feel it. But now as that's starting to dissipate, you're starting to feel this chill in the area or in the air. And it's almost like the white moon is coming early. And yet the blue moon is still out. So it is unseasonably cold right now.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I know exactly what that means.
He says, come in. Let's get out of this unseasonably chilly weather. And he's like, it has been just... He's like, they're getting snow in some places already. And it says that we're supposed to be getting snow soon as well. And I just don't even know.
Quite right. Let's get inside.
So, when you all get inside, Sebastian presents himself to both Otis and Mindoc, and he says, I am Sebastian, what is his last name? You know what? I hardly ever use it, that I'm not even sure what it even is, if I'm being honest. Oh, Sebastian Roy. He says, I am Sebastian Roy. I am the liaison of House Farisen, of Lord Android Farisen, and it is an honor to meet esteemed colleagues of his. And he gives you guys a slight, like, bow, a polite, just not like you've been singing Peng Shun where they bow all low or anything. It's more just like a nod, if anything.
I am Mandog.
Says, oh, a high elf, no less. It is an honor to meet you, Mindoc. Or should I say Lord Mindoc? Are you a lord where you come from?
No, I don't think so.
He says, well, I would sure hope you'd know that if you. Anyways, and then he looks at you, Otis, and he says, and what is your name?
Otis is gonna give him a nod. My name's Otis.
He says, greeting, Otis. And he looks you over for a minute. And he goes, oh, halfling. Yes, I'm familiar with those of High Forest. We get them sometimes here in White Sword as well. This is a pleasure to meet you. He goes,
Pleasure. Would you like me to try to fix your fountain?
He says, oh, if you could.
I could try.
Says, well, I mean, have at it then. He says, oh. He points at Otis as Otis is like walking to. He just kind of points at him and looks at Android and he goes, oh, isn't he just a delicious little dude?
Android is kind of like, I'm not sure quite what you mean by that, but sure.
He goes, it would be such a treat if he could fix that.
Does Otis hear this, or do I need to roll like a listen?
I mean, you can. I mean, you could hear it. You don't have to roll a listen.
I'm just gonna like stop and turn and look at Android and back, and I was like, "Am I about to get eaten?"
He says, if you do, I promise you'll like it.
Whoa!
So Sebastian just kind of clears his throat a little bit, looking a little embarrassed, and he adjusts his glasses and says, so, I much appreciate it, Otis, for you fixing the fountain.
Yes, I'm gonna try it, and I'm not guaranteeing anything.
He says, well, if you can, that would be wonderful. He looks at you now, Zoltan, and he goes, and Zoltan, it's good to see that you're still alive.
I give Sebastian a bow and say it's great to see you again.
Then he looks at Chu-Mi, that's like just hanging on your arm now. She's been kind of quiet this whole time, just like looking around mesmerized, and he says, oh, and you brought one of the natives with you.
See.
She just kind of eat when she gets
Nice.
nervous and like hides behind your back. He says, well, she looks mighty disheveled, Zoltan. Why don't you take her? And he points to like these two like saloon swinging doors that are, going into the east wing. He says, why don't you take her to the inn and get her something to eat and get her cleaned up a little bit. I think Rooster is probably asleep by now, but I think Cal is still working the bar, so maybe he can whip you up something easy.
Alrighty. I give him a bow and I head that way.
Maddox turns to Android and says, I thought that we were here for something important. Why are we wasting so much time with inane pleasantries?
Damn!
Android kind of thinks on how to respond to this for a moment, and he's like, well, because we run a business here, Mind Doc, and when establishing business between one another, it's important to spend a little bit of time on pleasantries. There's a lot that can be learned about a person and a short interaction with how they greet with one another.
Eyes kind of furrow, like is like trying to focus like on what's going on, and it's just sort of sits back and observes as you talk.
He's like, if you stick with me, I'll show you true magic. And he turns back to Sebastian.
How far away is Zoltan when Android says that?
Well, did you head that way when?
Yeah,
after
I just
Sebastian-
want to know if I caught the.
I'll say
stick
yeah.
with-
Like as you're like ushering Chu-Mi past the saloon doors, the swinging saloon doors, that like maybe you were standing right there when they said all that. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Android and give him a thumbs up.
Sebastian is standing there just politely, like he doesn't look at all like bothered by Mindoc saying what he says. Sebastian is quite used to being talked about like he's not there.
Respectable.
And yeah. So he just nods at you, Mindoc, and he says, "Well, I much appreciate somebody who speaks their mind. So you're welcome to stay here tonight if you like. We have spare rooms upstairs on the different floors and things like that. We will be attending to some affairs, Mindoc. If you don't mind, I need to speak with Android privately, my Lord Android privately. But any friend and companion of androids is always welcome in this house. And of course, that's not me giving the permission. That's Android giving the permission by bringing you here. And as long as we understand that, then feel free to always ignore me as if I don't exist."
Understood. I understand there's some kind of emergency. Is the security here adequate? Does it need bolstering?
Oh,
He,
how's Mad Dog doing?
When you ask that, he says, "Oh, Lord Hargrow. Yes, that is one of the matters I wanted to speak with you on. He himself is good, but and I told him that it was going to be up to you completely on whether or not he wanted to. I suppose we should just get this out of the way now." And he just kind of motions to the inn section, and he goes, "If you follow me, I will show you exactly what it is I'm speaking of."
Good answer. Android kind of looks to Mindoc and he's like, it's your choice whether or not you want to like assess the security for yourself with me. However, I think you're quite capable of defending yourself as well. And he's like,
I rather
so,
meant for the sake of the location. It seems of some significance to you.
He kind of scratches his chin and he's like, well, that's what I'm here to assess. I've been here. I've been gone a long time. Sorry.
Understandable. We can do both. I'm gonna... I'll just walk with him for now.
Says, "Well, if it'll make you feel better, Mindoc, do you have a last name, or do you just prefer me to call you Mindoc?"
I'm from Emmerhold. Mindoc of Emmerhold.
He says, "Oh, fine. Mindoc of Emmerhold, if it'll make you feel..."
Oh, gosh. No, please don't say it every time.
He says, "Oh, okay. If it makes you feel any better, we have bolstered the guard." And he motions to a few of the guards, like, just standing around. And they're not the most heavily armored of people, you know, but they do look trained. They do look trained. They do have fair weaponry. They wear, you know, red tunics with decent looking armor and whatnot. They are, you know, just guard. He says they are adequate. Our forge smith, Chemo, he does well with his weapons crafting, but he did need to speak with you, Quill, about perhaps collaborating on heavier stuff so that maybe we could start employing better weapons and armor and perhaps get us a couple of captains and perhaps an elite unit as well. But that is something that we'll speak on later. Let us talk about Lord Hargrow for a minute, Android. And he guides you into the inn. He takes you into the inn section. And you realize that the whole east wing is dedicated to this inn. There is a large portion of it that is nothing but a pub. It is a restaurant / pub area, and as you go in there, it's it's a sleepy little scenario going on right now. There's a few people still there eating or drinking, but for the most part, everybody's in pretty hushed tones or just asleep. But beyond that, there is an inn section where people can, and just imagine that Sebastian's explaining this to you now, that since you've been gone, they have made this inn/tavern where adventurers of little renown and merchants and different people can actually come eat here, drink, be merry, and then if they need to, they can rent rooms in the inn that they have set up here now at House for Risen. But what catches your attention isn't all of that. What catches your attention is the fact that there are two, not one, but two, count them, two female, large, like these people are at least 7 foot tall, large, bugbear women patrolling this area. They're not being bullies or anything. They're just kind of walking the area, kind of patrolling it, and every once in a while they'll grab somebody who's asleep on the bed, like at the tables or whatever, and shake them awake and be like, either buy a room or get out. If you got no more coin to eat or drink, then buy a room or get out. You know? And
Right.
Sebastian says, I'd like to introduce you to Brahma Angara Gruel. Says they are a couple of potential hires that Lord Hargrow brought in to help keep order in the tavern here, and perhaps on the grounds as well, should we ever be attacked by our enemies. I told him we could do a trial run until you got back, and then the final decision would be yours.
He says, and how is the net profit? He says, kind of like chuckling, you know, because he understands the problem already, you know.
You mean, are we losing money because of their presence, or?
He's kind of like, well, he just kind of waves his hand a little bit. He's like, I'm just being silly, Sebastian. I understand the issue here. He says they are effective in security, but I'm sure they're scaring off the patrons. Is that correct?
He says, well, they do a pretty... And then he thinks about it and he goes, not entirely, no. If I'm being honest. And he kind of like, you could see like it on his face that it's like paining him to kind of say this because he wants to just be like, yes, get their filthy hides out of you, you know. But he's like,
right.
Yes and no. Most of our patrons are small-time adventurers. We've had a few notable ones come in here lately. There was one who came in not too long ago, a hobgoblin, I think. He called himself Juxta. He said he had met you guys, and he ate and then left. He goes, but most of our patrons are kind of cut from a different cloth, if you will. So, no, they're not really scaring anybody off. It's
right.
just...
I see. It's that we're not getting any, what's the polite word? We're not broadening our horizons such as we wish.
He says, if I'm being honest with you, Android, I just don't like looking at them. He says, and I hate the fact that I feel that way. He goes, but they do their job pretty well. And
he says, how about we move them?
Hargrow likes them.
And he says, I really, I kind of Hmm. How about we move them to patrolling perimeter of the grounds, and we hire people to actually work the tavern, and we start marketing ourselves outwardly towards the city so that we get different patronage.
Says, I'll make it so. I'll let Hargrow know tomorrow that these women have a, and he says, if I may use that term loosely,
Hmm.
but that these women have um, that they are effectively hired, but to watch our perimeters outside, and yeah, and I'll see what I can
Per
do about bolstering the security in here.
About how
seems to
big is the castle? Question mark.
The house.
Yeah.
How big is this place?
Yeah. Like around, just the
Um,
area.
I
Is
want
it
the
kind of?
square footage.
I mean, approximately.
well,
I'm
okay,
just being a
so
dick.
to give you an idea, it like an overhead aerial view, it would look like a square on a grid. You know what I'm saying? What you have is you have the outer wall that separates it from like the city street, right?
Mm.
With a big gate there, and then you have that, and then past that you have like what is the outer perimeter, which has like a greenhouse and gardens and different things like that. A small, not large, but small, think like gentleman farmer type scenario with like a few
All right.
cows and chickens and pigs and things like that, right? Then the inner perimeter is the courtyard you guys are standing in now, and that has a west and an east wing that effectively act like another wall that circle around in another square formation, and they come off of the main uh, guild house, if you want to call it that. It's not really a guild house; it's a noble
It
house.
will be.
Um, right there. So, it's quite large. It probably takes up like half a city block, maybe, if you were to, you know. This city, the city of Whitesword, is a very large city, so it's nothing for these noble houses to take up, entire blocks. You know, this one takes up probably like half a city block.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Um.
So big.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Prying Eyes Greater, which is just kind of prying eyes, but they have true seeing, and just kind of have them all fly around and sort of get a feel for the layout of the place, and
Okay.
yeah, just kind of scan over everything.
Okay. Yeah. What those prying eyes are seeing right now is the inner perimeter. The guards are all like staunch and standing. They're each at their own station, just standing there. The outer perimeter. On the outer perimeter, you have what is effectively guards patrolling the tiny ranch, the gardens, the vegetable garden, the flower gardens, the greenhouse, that kind of stuff. And they're just patrolling around and watching and making sure that, like, no there is there is a fair amount of them, but it I wouldn't say that there's like a multitude. Maybe a plethora, but not a multitude. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Fair.
But yeah, after that, Sebastian just lets you know, Android. He says, "I will effectively let Lord Hargrow know of your decision, and the girls will be happy. They have been working hard to earn their position here, and to be fair, they do keep the riffraff out, so it'll be good to just have them out there, bolstering our guards."
He says, if there's any complaints, I'm sure he'll let us know. He
Yeah.
just kind of giggles.
Says, so, with that, there is a lot of business we need to cover. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to retire to your chambers and or to your office and speak, if we may.
He says, very well. He turns to Mind Doc and he's like, I trust you to acquaint yourself with the, with the place. Don't put a curse in my house. And he just starts
House.
laughing.
He says, like, just straight face, dead serious.
He's like, very good. He's just being a dick. And he turns back to Sebastian and he's like, lead the way. I don't know where it's at, I don't think.
Says, it's where you left it. And he and he looks at you, Mind Doc, and he says, oh, you're welcome to any food and drink that you'd like. And he motions to the bar where there's a finely dressed, he's not old, but he's not young either. You'd call him like a middle-aged, guy, sitting there wiping the bar. He's nicely dressed. He's got his hair slicked back. He's got a nice thin mustache, and he goes, Cal over there will assist you with anything that you may need while I speak with Android.
And it just nods in acknowledgement.
Says, yes. Says, well, I do appreciate a person who knows who they are, I suppose. Even if that person is socially awkward. Let us go.
I'm gonna have one of the eyes. I'm gonna see if one of the eyes can follow them unnoticed.
Well, I don't think Sebastian's particularly looking for it. He doesn't really. I wouldn't say Sebastian is like incredibly what do you call it? Incredibly in tune with knowing what your capabilities are. So I don't think he's even going to be looking for it. And unless Android's just extremely suspicious of you at this moment, he doesn't have to. But I will, if you want, Android, you can roll a spot and see if and see if you notice it. Or you can choose to ignore it and just.
I'm gonna do it for shits and gigs, just as like a reactionary thing.
Cool.
But I'm not gonna say that Android's necessarily super suspicious of him. It's just gonna be like if if he sees it out of the corner of his eye.
On a Tuesday.
Well, you don't. So
I sure don't. Android don't see shit. He never did.
So your office
Android, tell me what your elven eyes see. He says, not shit.
I just got home and I realized I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
So your office is located on the bottom floor. And even though he said it's right where you left it, which it is, it's just one of these rooms down a hallway, it has been renovated. It is now much bigger, and it's full of books that you have never seen before in your entire life.
Oh, gangster.
Just like this library.
Makes
and
me
there's
look
a fireplace. Yeah, there's a fireplace roaring, and you have an oak desk now and everything. And then right next to that is a trap door, one of those portholes, that Uquill brought back that takes you directly to Highforest in the capital city, Highgarden. There, the one that Uquill set up right there, and it's just sitting right next to your desk there, kind of off to the back though, where it's not real noticeable, But as you're coming to sit down at your desk, you just happen to see it, and you're like, "Oh, that's that thing. That's that thing."
It's a
I'm
thing.
gonna put a rug or something over that.
So Otis. Okay, so before we go to Otis though. So as you guys sit down, Sebastian just looks at you, Android, and goes, You have been gone a while, Android. So I'm in order to get all of your affairs in order, which is my job, I'm going to need you to recite to me everything you've done since you've been gone.
Ah,
And
I can't
now
breathe
we're gonna
for the first time.
yeah, we're going to jump to what we're gonna do to save you all of that. When we jump over to Otis, just think of it as while this is going on, you're sitting there just reciting everything that's happened to Sebastian.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you for sparing me that.
Oh yeah, no problem.
You are a gracious DM in that regard.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you. But yeah, so Otis,
Don't
what do you
get
do
used
about
to
this? Yeah, what do you do? Yeah. What do you do about this what do you do about this fountain, Otis?
He is going to has to make whole to see if that'll fully repair it to what it was.
All right. Well, do you have to roll anything for that?
No.
All right then. What does that look like when Otis does that? Describe to me. Give me some flavor text here. Give me a little bit of meat with this stew.
Repairing a
Little bit
fountain.
of-
He's putting stone back together. Wow, the rocks magically fly up and glue themselves back together, and what do you know? It's fixed.
Your way with words is legendary, sir. Yeah. But yeah, it just comes back together. You make it whole once more, and it's just like bing. Although
After
for
it's
some
repaired,
weird-
Otis is going to look at it for a second and is like, I think we can make this a bit better. And then he's going to cast Stone Shape.
Okay.
And basically make an android statue in front of his house.
Oh, what a guy. Otis is so cool.
So you fixed the fountain and then made a statue, or the statue's a part of the fountain?
The statue's a part of the fountain. Essentially,
Cool.
what I'm envisioning is him either staying up or knelt over with like a vase type holder, and the water's pouring out of that onto his hand into the fountain. As if, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Otis.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Yeah, so you make this gorgeous fountain that you're like excited to show everybody, and when you rush back inside to tell everyone, nobody's there in the foyer anymore.
What the fuck? What is this now
Yeah.
pounding?
Yeah. You're like pounding for a minute until you get this like sense of like a whiff of something delicious wafting from the saloon doors.
Waffle House.
Yeah, just yeah, you go in there and you just see the two freaking bugbear chicks just beating each other up, and you're like, "Can I get a waffle? Can I please
Nice.
get a waffle?" No, but you make
Looking
your
at
way.
it.
Yeah, you make your way over into the pub where or into the tavern where you see Mindoc and Zoltan and Chew-Me all just kind of hanging out. Zoltan and Chew-Me, you guys go over to the bar top. You guys were there even before Mindoc and Android came in there and were having their conversation. You took note of the two bugbear women as well, Zoltan, and you're just like, that's weird. But you went over to the bar.
That's new. Anyways, I need a drink. I
Yeah.
had a fucking heart attack.
Sitting at the bar, you see I want to say he's a familiar face because I believe you were there when they hired Cal Francis for the bartending job, him and his two daughters. Again, he is a finely dressed barkeep with slick back hair, and He's a middle-aged man, a human man with a thinly cut mustache and finely trimmed eyebrows. You know, like he looks like he's not afraid of like a hard day's work, but at the same time, he looks like he's very graceful. This dude looks like he could dig a hole gracefully, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he's just wiping the bar as you come walking up, Zoltan. And he's like, "Oh, so one of the lords of the house has returned." Says, "I can't remember your name, friend. Which one are you again?" See,
I take a bow and I say, my name is Zoltan Heisenberg.
says Zoltan. That's right. I'm Cal Francis. In case you don't remember, don't blame me if you don't. And then he looks at Chumi and he goes, "And who is this looker?"
She is my fiance, Jumi.
Says, "Oh." Says, "I see. You ordered out. Nice." Says, "So what can I do for you, Zoltan?"
I was looking to get a drink and a meal, if you don't mind.
Says, "Well," he goes, "all I got going on right now, because Red ain't gonna wake up for a little bit. Yeah, he drank himself into another stupor, but he does have some potatoes and some stew left over that I could warm up for you here in a jiff. Give you a couple of brews to go with that."
Yeah, that'll work. If you don't mind.
2 orders then of the fried potatoes and stew?
Yes, sir.
It's all right. And what kind of brew you want? You want some ale? You want some? He goes, that House Volt has been bringing us some crazy mead. They call it what were they calling it? They were calling it what is it? Graven mead. Yeah. Says they owe it to you for some weird reason. I don't know what that's all about, but they've been giving it to us. They said they talked to Android about it as soon as he got back. He goes, "You want to give that stuff a try? It's pretty stout."
Yeah, I'll give that a try.
Says, "All right." He says, "We also got he goes, he looks at the girl and he goes, "Unless at Chumi," he says, "unless you want to try some of this fire wine that this other group has been given to us. They said they owed it to us. I don't know. Some crazy looking character came in here, called himself Mr. Blossom, I believe."
Nope.
Said he said, "A deal's a deal, and they've been supplying us. So we've got 2 different kinds of like authentic, rare liquors up in here." Chumi just pipes in and goes, "I know what fire wine is. It's delicious. I'll take a glass." He says, "All right then." He goes, "Well, isn't she just precious?" Gives her fire wine and gives you your Graven mead. He says, "All right." He says, "You can sit here at the bar and have your meal, or you can go pick a table, and I'll." And he thinks about it for a minute. He goes, "I'll go wake up Carly and have her serve you as soon as it's ready."
Alrighty.
And then he motions to Bruma and Gara, and he says, "And don't mind them." He says, they come off a bit abrasive, but they're not bad. They're actually really good card players if you can get them into a game."
I see.
Says, "Yeah, just mind your P's and Q's and they won't have anything to do with you."
Alrighty, I'll keep that in check.
All right. What does Mind Doc do?
I was about to say, he's going to walk over to where Zolt is and sit down. And he asks, "So, how did you come into Android and use company?"
That's a funny story. I kind of just teleported there.
When you say
He
that,
always seems to do a
Chew,
lot of that.
when you say that, Chew me just kind of like hugs your arm a little bit. She goes, "You can teleport?"
I'm a magic man.
Good answer.
That in fact is the right answer.
Well, then, why did you stick around?
They seem like a fun group to stay with.
Seems to consider this for a moment, then just goes, I see. Then just kind of like breaks off as if he can't think of anything else to ask. Or isn't interested.
Cal comes back from the back from polishing a glass that's like he's polished it where it's like sparkling, and he looks and sees you now, Mindoc, and he says, "Well, hello there. I didn't see you come walking up. Name's Cal Francis. Nice to meet you."
Hello, Cal Francis. I'm Mindoc.
Says, "Well, nice to meet you, Mindoc. What can I get for you?"
Oh, I'll have water.
He goes, "Oh. Okay then." No, I'm just kidding. He looks like that one Vine where it's like, "You don't have a rewards card?" All right. No. No. He
Go
just
back
says,
to the days right now.
he says, "A water, huh? Well, okay. All right. Well, you must have been traveling very far. You're really parched." And he doesn't show you that he's just scooping a glass of water from a mop bucket. putting a little bit of lime in there. No, I'm just kidding. He like gets a ladle and just puts it in this barrel and pours some water in there. And he goes, "You want some lime or lemon with that water, or you just like it straight up?"
I kind of looks at him confused for a second, and then it goes, just water.
Says, "All right," and he slides the glass down to you.
Sits sipping his water.
Says,
Nice.
he says, "Carly's in the back right now, warming up that food, and she'll be out here to serve y'all here in a minute." He goes, "Mindoc, yeah, you hungry?"
When did we last eat? Kind of asks some. Fucking ask Zoltan.
That's a good question. I don't remember. I think it was when Otis did the Heroes Feast and we all ate there.
Yes, food would be beneficial.
Yeah, the more you guys talk about it, the more your stomachs begin to growl. You can hear the little bubbles popping in your gut. He looks at you, Zoltan. He goes, "Oh, you know my doc then?"
Yes, he's a part of the party that we're in.
"Oh, so you're a part of the group then? All right. Well, I was gonna charge you, but I guess you get it on the house then." He goes,
Nice.
"Zoltan's one of the de facto lords of the manor. You see, given the title by the Lord of the Manor, Android. So, has he made you a lord yet?"
I don't believe so.
He goes, "Then it'll be 650. No, I'm just kidding. and then he just laughs. He goes, "Ah," and he goes, "I'll have Carly warm up a third plate then." And then he
I
goes
like
and
this
opens
man.
it. He goes and pushes open the kitchen door, which is just a swinging door. It's one of those like double swinging doors with the little glass circles cut into it for like sight. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He swings it open and he just hollers in there. He goes, "Carly, we need another plate out here. Get it shaking, honey." And then lets the door just boom. He goes, "She'll be out here in a minute." About this time, Otis comes wandering into the tavern, just sniffing. And what does Otis do? Otis, you see a couple of large bugbear women just, kicking people up out of the bar who can't afford to, or kicking people up out of the tavern who can't afford to stay or pay anymore. So they're just kicking them out. And they're just, going about their business, just looking around.
Otis pays them no mind, sees Zoltan and Mindog, and heads over to them.
You come over there and you climb up onto one of the stools, and Cal just kind of saunters over and kind of leans on the bar and looks over it at you, and he goes, You want some help there? Get up there?
Otis just glares at him. No.
Zoltan is holding in a laugh.
He says, "All right, no, I didn't mean no offense by it." He goes, I've been telling people we need a step built up in here, but nobody listens to me.
It probably would be helpful. Thanks for thinking about that.
Well, we got to take in our vertically challenged customers as well. What their needs and wants are as well. You know what I'm saying? He
Otis is
takes out a
so
glass
hard
and
he's
kind
bleeding on the inside.
he takes the glass and just kind of breathes in it, and then goes back to wiping it. He's like, "Well, what can I do? What? Well, my name is Cal Francis. It's a pleasure to meet you. What's your name?"
Otis.
Says, "Nice to meet you, Otis. It's a pleasure to have you here." He goes, "You're a halfling, right? You guys come from High Forest."
Yeah, your perspective.
Says, he says, "Nice. We don't get too many people from High Forest around here." Says, we were for a while." He goes, "But then this really cold weather started rolling in, and they say it's snowing in places now. Heavy snow. Like hard to travel snow. So I don't know if we're gonna be getting too many people traveling that far for a while, at least until the summer comes."
Otis looks towards Zoltan as he's
at least
saying
until the
that.
red moon comes. The red moon.
I am currently down in my drink when he speaks of how the weather's acting.
Otis just staring daggers at Zoltan.
Yeah. So what can I get for you there, Otis?
Something smells really good. I'd like whatever that is, please.
He goes, "It's stew and fried potatoes."
Ooh, can I have some, please?
He says, "Sure. You want something to drink?"
Yeah.
He goes, we got beer, we got ale, we've got mead." He goes, "We got this special kind of fire wine.
No.
That supposedly comes from
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I had some before. It really fucked me up. No, thank you.
He says, "All right, well, we got this other stuff called Graven mead. That's pretty authentic as well, if you want to try that." He goes, the Lord over there, Lord Zoltan, he's been drinking it. How are you liking that so far, Zoltan?"
This stuff be pretty good.
And as he says Lord Zoltan, Otis looks over and is like, "You're a lord too?"
I guess.
How?
You know what? As Android at this point. I don't understand it.
Okay.
Cal looks from Zoltan to Mindok to Otis, then back to Mindok, then to Otis, and then back to Zoltan. He goes, "So all of you know each other then?"
Yeah. The same
He
party.
goes, He goes, "Well, we're just giving it away for free tonight, I guess." And then just kind of slams one of the cups underneath the deal. And he goes, "All right, well, I was going to charge you, but I guess we're not now. You want to try that Graven mead?"
Dude, I'll pay.
He goes, No. I can't have one of the de facto lords' friends paying unless the de
I'm gonna
facto
pay.
lord himself wants to pay. He goes, I can't take it. I cannot. It's a rule.
I
It's
don't
a
have the
rule.
money.
He says, he says, but to answer your question about how that works, Zoltan really isn't the lord of the manor. He's what they call a de facto lord. See, sometimes the lords of the manor, ours being Android, of course. I guess if you know Zoltan, you probably know Android.
You.
He says, the actual lord of the manor, Android, lords of these different manors, of these different houses, will sometimes get what they call entourages around them, and then they can hand out lordships to their friends, and then that makes their friends lords. You know?
Sure.
Yes, especially when they're on that particular lord's homestead. Now, if he were to say go to like House Blanco and be like, "I'm a lord, I'm not going to pay," they'd probably be like, "Well, all right, I'll slap you in the mouth and take the money then." You know, it's kind of a gray area. His lordship, anyways, and he motions to Zoltan, and he goes, "But here, for all intents and purposes, we're to treat him and his." And motions to both you and Mindoc as masters, if you will. And that's why I can't take your money.
I don't like that, but I appreciate it.
He goes, well, I appreciate that you don't like that. I really do. It says a lot about your character. And then he goes over to the swing. He makes you a mug of the grabbing meat and slides it down to you. And then goes and swings open another door and goes, Carly, I know you were wanting to go back to bed, but we need one more plate of that stew and fried potatoes. And you hear her go, what? He goes, yeah, one more plate. He goes, oh my goodness. I want to go to bed. He goes, honey, you're being real ugly right now. And, you know, the gods don't like ugly. And then he just lets the door swing back.
Nice.
Well,
I'm like, you're not wrong when it comes to that.
He comes walking back up and he says, sorry about that. She's just a little cranky. Yeah, so eventually, yes, Cal's daughter comes out with the plates of food, and she is she's young. She's got like dark brown, well, not dark brown hair, but she's got brown hair, brown eyes. She's pretty, but she doesn't dress like overly seductive. She's got kind of like the plain Jane thing going on with herself, you know, where perhaps she doesn't realize just how pretty she is, so she doesn't attempt to be. But she approaches and hands everybody their food, and with that, after doing that, she just looks at Cal and says, can I go to bed now? And he goes, yeah. Shut the kitchen down for good, and we won't open up again until Red wakes up.
Before she walks away, can I thank her for the food?
Yeah. You thank her for the food, and she turns and looks at you and just kind of smiles. It's a polite smile, but you can tell there's a little bit like of sassiness behind it. And she just kind of curtsies and then walks back there, and he goes, you know, and believe it or not, she's actually the polite, she's the mild-mannered one. He goes, my other daughter, Sierra, good grief, man. He goes, it's a wonder she never ran off. Yes, so you all begin eating your meals. Do you all have any conversation whilst doing so?
out of character, the well fixing was a spell, right?
Yes.
Yeah, my dog just asks Oh, it says to Otis rather. I saw you fix the well. Is that something you can teach?
I don't know. Right? Is the fountain?
Just accepts that he saw it. Alright, can we try to do that while while we eat?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you guys get to just talking about that. What is that spell? Was that a favorite soul spell or a cleric spell?
The cleric.
Yeah, so it's like he's talking French to you.
Yeah.
First thing Otis says, alright, so first thing you need is your holy symbol. Where's your holy symbol?
I am
Nice.
gonna take this time and just sit here and admire what's going on now.
It actually looks kind of frustrated.
Where's your holy symbol? You can't do it if you ain't
Where's
got
it
one.
at? Bust it out.
Perhaps,
Bust out your piece.
perhaps this isn't realistic.
It's not, it sucks to be you.
The unholy trinity is speaking with each other.
Aw.
Oh no, I forgot about that.
I have
Whoops.
it.
From the start, I was like, poor dude has to serve a table with Mind Dog and fucking Otis.
Oh man.
Cal's just sitting there arranging bottles and everything and just kind of yawning. He's like, if you fellas don't need anything else for the rest of the night, I'm going to just turn the bar over to Gara and Bruma, and I'm going to head to bed.
Alright, have a good night.
Acknowledged.
He's like, y'all be good now, and like whips his rag up onto his shoulder just with a whoop, like it's a set of nunchucks or something. Says, y'all be good now. Don't cause any world-ending events or anything.
I'm taking another drink.
And he heads upstairs.
As soon as he leaves, I'm gonna start like drawing a pentagon on the ground. No, not really.
Oh, Asmodeus, come forth. So you guys have a pleasant meal.
You broke
and-
the only rule.
Yeah,
One
Good
rule.
job.
who told you were naked? So
Right.
so we're going to flip over to Uquill and Agargus now, as they travel with Master something or other. What is that guy's name? Yeah, I can't remember his name. Like there's so many names. Okay, and
So
it's
many.
just hard. There really is. Like I
That's
got
what she
folders.
said.
I can't even remember my own.
I got folders and folders of names, and I just
yeah?
get. Yeah, Master Yang Pan Lu.
You should have a folder that says I use these names, dumbass.
Yeah. Well, kinda. I kinda do, but I kinda don't. Like it's hard to explain. Like they are set up in a certain way, but it's just one of those things where
Oh, is your bank account connected to your checking or savings account?
no, it's everything is broken up into different like folders, depending on the continents and what affiliation they have with like said group, if that makes any sense. Like everybody from the Golden Lotus Monastery, for instance, has their own folder, and then depending on what shogunate their monastery exists on, goes into that shogunate's folder. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a series of folders that I have to get to get there.
Master Wuda Falk.
Yes, yes.
But yeah,
That's so
so as you're walking with Grandmaster Yang Pan Lu, he brings you over to
I'm
he
sorry.
brings
I'm sorry.
do what?
It's funny once. No.
No, it's it reminds me of that meme. How do you name an Asian baby? This motherfucker ping pong pong.
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
I used Google Translate and just put words in there and said what sounds really cool. But
Nice.
yeah, like seriously, that's what I did.
Make
Like
noises.
I said,
Hell
like for instance, I'm like, what would a name like Tiger Eye sound like in Korean? And so I did that, and that's what I got. That's not this dude's name, but just as an example, right? Because I wanted it to sound authentic, but I feel like we're doing way too much table talk now and not enough game. So, anyways,
That's literally a game of D&D. What are you talking about?
yeah,
But that's
but
authentic as fuck.
yeah. So, you guys are walking and speaking with him, and he's the one that dislocated one of your mercenaries' fingers. And he's an elderly gentleman who's a monk. He's got long white hair. He wears like simple. Well, he wears simple clothing. Like there's not a lot of flash and flare to him. So he just got on his brown robes and he just walks. And he's pretty soft spoken. Like to just talk to him, you would think that he's just this elderly, old, wise man. You'd never think to yourself that he could dislocate like a 300-pound bear man's finger with but a flick of his wrist, but that's what he did. And he's walking and just speaking philosophy with you at this point, just walking alongside with you, just explaining to you what power is to his knowledge, what it is to him, to see if you cannot together decipher this secret of power that you've been looking for. And he starts explaining to you, he's like, we at the Golden Lotus Monastery, we train our bodies to be our weapons. Yes, some of us use swords or bow staffs or other instruments of war, but at the end of the day, a sword is only as strong as the arm that wields it. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, technically. A poor sword will hinder a strong person. Weapon and wielder both need to be adequate. That's the way to put that.
Says, but if one cuts out the sword completely and makes them the sword, them themselves the sword, then what have you gained from this? And that is what I'm trying to figure out when you ask, what is the secret of power? Because if it is not the sword, and it is not the inner strength, then what is true power, you Quill?
Yeah. Good question. That's all these guys. Good question.
Says yes, and it befuddles me as well. Says, worry not though. Maybe together we will figure it out. And he brings you up to a chariot being a rickshaw being hooked to a wyvern, and standing there are two other gentlemen. Who also appear to be monks. They appear to be of the Golden Lotus Monastery as well. One of them Let's see here. Yes, one of them is a younger gentleman. He's got long black hair. He wears a leather black tunic with like gold symbols on it, and he's got tattoos all up and down his arm. He looks like, though, the expression on his face, you can already read, you Quill, that this is the type of guy who looks like he's just got kind of like a perpetually bad attitude. You know?
Yeah.
You might say game recognizes game or something. Yeah, sometimes. While the other is a older gentleman, not as old as Yang Pan, but he's older. He's got white hair as well with a shorter beard. He wears a green sash across his chest with a green tunic. And they are currently harnessing the wyvern to the rickshaw when Yan Pan comes walking up with you and Agaragis. And while the older gentleman just keeps steady at his work, the younger one turns and looks and says, "What is this, Grandmaster? You bringing strays home to the monastery?"
What?
Say what?
He's wiry.
Yeah. Yan Pan just looks and says, "Show some respect. This is the winner of the Jingzhu. He is the honorable Jingzhu." And the young man says, "I know who he is." He says, "I don't know why we're bringing outsiders home, though." And Yan Pan says, "That is because nobody asked your opinion. It is not your job to know." Now,
Big facts.
Yeah. Now continue harnessing that. And he looks at you, Yuquil, and he says, "I apologize." He says, "Hano means well, but he's still young."
Yeah, Yuko just smirks. He's like, really didn't see much wrong with it. He's like, it is what it is. No big.
Says, "Well, very good then." About this time, the older one harnessing the wyvern looks and says, "We're ready to go, Grandmaster." Says, "Thank you, Jinzu." Says, "Well, shall we?"
Sure.
Yucca says, "I'm just going to fly alongside it."
That would probably be the best course of action.
Says, "Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do." What is Garrigus doing at this point? Just out of curiosity, what is, Garrigus is just kind of by proxy decided to go to this temple with Uquil because they are hooked to Uquil's back. So, what is Agaragis thinking about all of this?
Agaricus is just kind of like observing and being like, whoa. There's a lot of details going on. I'm not going to remember any of these.
Things are happening. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Everybody loads up onto the rickshaw, and the wyvern begins to fly them home. Oh, back to the Golden Lotus Monastery. It's a pretty long flight. and because the weather is doing unpredictable things, from time to time you guys get rained on pretty heavily, to such a degree that you have to actually like use heavy blankets to cover yourselves to keep from just becoming completely soaked and taking a chance of becoming ill while flying too. Yan Pan makes a note a note of saying, he's like, it's such strange weather we're having here lately.
Yeah,
He
you
says-
don't say.
He looks at you, Quill. He goes, normally this is a pretty pleasant flight this time of year, or this time of the cycles. He says, but it's like the white moon flew in so early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Damn it. That's all he's got.
Yeah, does you Quill kind of make does he kind of flinch at that? Kind of like make like a face, kind of a weird face about that?
A little, like, he's kind of like, it's more of a whoopsie, like.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious. Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead and just roll me a spot check real quick, you Quill.
Stab it.
Do it. Roll,
Yeah.
I say.
Flip the page and it's just like, nah.
Yeah. So
I
if
see the other side of the world.
Yeah. If Yan Pan noticed the flinch, he's made no motion of recognition. You know what I mean? His
Yeah.
expression has remained the same. The older one that he called Gen Zhu, he's up there like guiding the wyvern a little bit. You know what I'm saying? With the help of Yucca a little bit. Kind of acting as like a forward spotter to kind of like fly back and be like, go left. You know what I'm saying? And every once in a while going up and just kind of grabbing the whole wyvern's head and just palming it and shoving it to make it go the direction he wants it to. You know what I mean?
Move, motherfucker.
However, the one named Hanno, the one that, the younger one, the one that kind of gave you a hard time in the beginning.
Yeah.
He's over there looking at you. And when you kind of flinch at this and everything, you look, you just happen to look and see Hanno looking at you. And his eyes just kind of squint a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a twitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he caught your flinch, Yeah. And his expression just kind of, it's a little sour. But
He's a salty boy.
yeah. It's a 12.5-hour ride.
Jesus.
And yeah, you guys are literally to give you a point of perspective on this. You have literally flown out of one shogunate over another, past the Sangoon Mountains. Remember when you first showed up into Pangshun? You came out of those mountains.
Yeah.
You have flown over those mountains into an entirely different shogunate, which Yan Pan points out and hollers to Genzu even, like, fly as quiet as you can while in the Sixth Demon Shogunate. And then eventually you come into onto another into the shogunate where the Golden Lotus Monastery exists. which is the Kuatuan shogunate. The Golden Lotus Monastery is the highest tower of the Kuatuan shogunate. On the continent there, the upper east, the northeast corner, the farthest corner of the continent of itself, the smallest shogunate, in the Sangoon Mountains, you will see the tallest tower there that borders between the Sixth Demon Shogunate and the Kuatuan Shogunate. And that is the Golden Lotus Monastery. And as you guys begin to get there, with the moon waning and beginning to, the sun beginning to rise and dawn beginning to break, you can see the Golden Lotus Monastery just sitting there within the mountains like a beacon, shining with like gold and marble and but in sparse areas. For the most part, it looks pretty basic. I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for, but it's humble. You know, the gold and the marble is decoration, but the whole isn't that. It's mainly clay and stucco that this monastery is made out of.
Yep.
As you guys begin to fly closer to it, and Yan Pan Lu begins to just recite their history to you a little bit. He's like, "Behold, the monastery." He said, "My family, the Lu family, has been teaching the arts to generations after generations. We've never turned our back on anybody.
Fuck.
Even one of us once decided he was going to venture west, journey to the west, and teach the arts. But I lost contact with him. I never knew what had happened to him. But we lost contact with him. We never knew what happened to him. That was my uncle's uncle who did that years ago. Him and other Lus and some of their disciples went west, off the continent." This is it. I wonder where they had ended up. It says, "But we, the Lus here in Pengshun, on the continent of Pengshun, have been teaching the arts to many. We turn no one away, as long as they can withstand the first initiation, if you will." He says, and he explains this to you as you guys begin to land. And once you come to a good and sturdy stop, you know, Hano and Genzu hop off and begin to clean up and unharness the wyvern. Yucca lands and he kind of shakes the water off of himself, and Yan Pan himself hops up out of the rickshaw and looks at you, Quill, and goes, "And this is why I bring this up, because in order for you to enter the monastery, you must first pass the first initiation." He says, "Are you up for it?"
I suppose.
Says, "Good." And he now you guys don't land directly at the temple. You land at the steps leading up to the temple. Now the temple sits up high on the mountaintop. You're looking at these steps. There's got to be over 1,000 steps leading up to that temple.
Got it.
He says, "Come, let us walk then." As y'all begin walking up the steps.
Yeah, you will give it the fuck you mean, walk. Oh, God damn it. It starts following.
So you guys, so after a good 12 and a half hour flight, it's probably
Fucking
another,
hype.
it's probably another good an hour and a half just walk getting up to this temple until you reach the doors. You, Yampan and Agaragis. And I bet Agaragis isn't phased by any of this.
No,
I'm gonna-
Garrus is just fucking chilling, bro.
I'm gonna. Is Agaragis? I'm like, no. How's Agaragis feeling about all this?
Fucking lounging on my back and shit.
They're taking like a mini vacation.
Half of my flicking Garrus off.
When you guys finally reach the very large double doors, you know, I mean, we're talking large double doors, right? They dwarf you. You know, to these double doors. Yampan like turns and looks at you, Quill. He goes, "You're probably really tired and would like to rest." He says, "I understand that." And then he just like gently like takes his hands and puts them on either one, like on your like arms on either side of you, and just begins to kind of like walk you to a spot, and then stands you just kind of. He's like basically like motioning for you to just stand straight up. And then he walks behind you and he looks at you, Agaragis. Yampan looks at you, Agaragis, and like holds out his hands and just like basically like picks you up off of Uquil's back and sets you down. And then takes you by the hand and begins walking with you like a father would a small child. He says, "Stand here, Uquil, and don't move until you're told." And then and when that happens, the double doors open up, and he looks down at you, Agaragis, and he goes, "Let me show you the Golden Lotus Monastery."
Oh, the what?
The Golden Lotus Monastery, young friend. And he looks at you, Uquil, and he goes, "You may come in when you can come in." He goes,
What she said.
Your friend has already earned their right to come in, because a wise person knows when riding is better than walking. Shall we then? And then him and Agaragis walk in, and the double doors like they open up, let them in, and then
I'm gonna say Uquil's power aura just instinctively kicks on because he's just so fucking annoyed right now. Oh, it's not even a scream. That was just like the second he said that shit, just like triggered. You motherfucker, you motherfucker.
Eventually, Jinzu and Hano come walking up there, and Jinzu looks at you and he goes, "For what it's worth, I hope you make it." He goes, "Your friend, the beast, he's very helpful. I don't know if we'd have been able to see our way through that storm without his help. We're feeding him whole cows down there right now."
Jesus.
He said he said he'd catch up with you when he was finished, and he took a long, nice nap. Then he looks you up and down and he goes, "Don't move. Whatever you do, don't move. You can do this." And then
Do
the
it.
the double doors just let Jinzu in. And Hano stops before going in and just kind of looks at you, Uquil. Like, he doesn't turn. He just lets his head like turn and look in your direction, you know, very
He gives me
slowly.
the fucking side eye. Yeah.
Yeah. And he says,
Swivel.
"If you in the swivel," yeah, he's rubbernecking. He looks at you and he goes, "If you make it." we're gonna have a long conversation about this weather.
Yuquil just kind of smiles. He's like, I'll talk to you here in a little bit. That's all he says.
He says, "We shall see." And he walks in there and.
Agaricus is dead. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Inside Agaricus, you are seeing like a very nicely decorated temple. Just think of any monk monastery that you could imagine, and that's probably what you're seeing right now with the pillars and the marble flooring and the red designs and the tapestries hanging, the incense is burning, you know. There's
Things I can steal.
yeah. There's a giant
Nice.
bronze yeah. There's a
She about to steal them J's.
there's a there's a giant bronze statue of a god that you don't necessarily recognize. That the
That I don't believe in.
that the
Nice.
monks are sitting there you know, meditating in front of. It is the statue in of itself looks in the style of the Pangshun continent. It's what it looks like, a very androgynous male with a bronze headdress, decorative headdress on, and he's got 4 arms, and in each arm, he's got fire, wind, water, and Terran.
Heron?
And Terran or Terra. You know, you're not on Earth, so I don't call it Earth. It's just Terra. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
Terra, you know. And they do the fire in the hand that he's got fire in, it directly is diagonal to the hand that has water, showing their connection. And in the wind goes to Terra, and it's a representation of something that perhaps you can't quite make out. I will allow you to roll we'll just say a knowledge of religion to see if maybe perhaps you can just work out what the statue is supposed to be representing.
What was that very last part? Sorry.
To what? The statue or what you can roll?
What I can roll.
A knowledge of religion.
Most religious person in the group.
Yeah. Like, definitely a god I don't believe in.
I know some of these religions.
Yeah, it'll be in your skills, I believe. Oh, okay. That's really not that bad. That's actually pretty good.
Told you.
You you look it over for a minute and you realize that it is a representation of like elements and how they directly connect and affect one another. But you notice that it is also a oddly, like, it's an odd representation of chaos and order and how it works. You know, both fire and water can cause chaos, but both can bring order depending on how used. Same thing, yet with wind and Terra, you know, wind is like a chaotic force that sweeps over Terra that is ordered and unmoving. And yet both can bring order and chaos to each other. And it's just this like strange it's just this strange idea that it's trying to show you of the elements that make up reality in of itself, and yet they are also direct representations of chaos and order. And Grandmaster Yan Pan happens to look down at you and see you just studying this. He says, "That is the god that we worship, Primus. He is the god of order. But in studying him, one must also understand chaos. And that is where the god Toldeth comes in. While Toldoth exists within the chaos, Primus exists within the order. And yet Primus holds both in his hands because he is strong." He says, "You see?"
I see.
Says, "Now, what is your name, little one? I don't think I caught it when I met you, Quill. You are quite quiet."
He says, Agaricus, and then salutes.
Grandmaster Yampan looks at that with much amusement. He like strokes his beard and kind of chuckles. He says, "Ah, Agaricus. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I had heard once that in the Sangoon Mountains there's an entryway to a place they call the Underworld. And in that Underworld there are all sorts of manner of denizens. And one of those denizens, some claimed, were little fungi people. I hadn't believed it until now. It is...
He just...
what? No, go ahead.
He just nods.
Says, "It is a pleasure to meet you." Says, "Do you like our monastery?"
He says, "Very much. Is there anything free I can have?"
He smiles and kind of chuckles again. He says, "Yours is a peculiar race." And he walks over to a bowl that is it looks like a ceremonial bowl full of different kinds of fruits, and it's got different sticks of incense like inside of it burning, And he pulls out a plum and walks over and hands it to you. He says, "We don't have much, but what we have is meant so that we may live."
He bows and says, "Thank you." He doesn't know what a plum is.
He says, "Oh." Does Agaricus say that? Like, what is this?
No, he just says thank you and puts it in his little a skin pocket.
Oh. He goes, "Oh." He goes, and like that kind of shocks him a little bit. He goes, "Is that the way you eat food? You don't actually use your mouth?"
He said, "I use my mouth sometimes, but I didn't know it was food. I was just storing it for later use."
He goes, "Oh, very well." He goes, "Well, when you eat it, tell me what you think if you've never had one before. They're delicious. We call them plums."
He squints his eyes and nods his head. Because he's like, I have to remember this.
You basically just eat it. It's a fruit. He says, "But you don't eat the pit." There's a giant seed in there. Don't eat that. Or maybe you can't eat that. I don't know. I am not aware of how your people do things, apparently.
He says likewise.
So tell me, Agarius, why did you come with Quill when you could have gone back with your friends?
No one told me to.
He like contemplates that answer for a minute. He says, "Are you the type that only does what does when they're told to, or is it because you weren't aware that you had the option?"
More of the option. I just kind of do whatever is going on in the moment, and he had a quest.
He says, "Ah." He goes, "Wind and water."
Go in water?
Wind. He says, no. Wind and water. He says, "That is you. Wind and water. You are very quiet. You are still. But you can go with the flow. But you are malleable like the water. Water has no shape. It says, that is you, wind and water. It says, we could teach you some things while you're here if you would be interested in it, since you are here."
He nods his head.
Says, "Oh, good. Good." Says, I have relatives somewhere west." He goes, ambitious they were. Wonder whatever happened to them. But it'll be interesting for me to be able to teach someone like you. Says, "Don't worry about your friend Quill out there right now. If all goes well, we'll see him again in the next 20 hours or so." He like takes you by your hand, Agarius, and begins to just like take you by tapestries and just explain like the history of the continent to you, like in detail.
Oh no.
Yeah, like you're getting like a history lesson that like the others never really got. Right?
Well, guys.
We know you're
The
not
worst-
going to tell us.
Yeah, the worst person to get the lord dump is the person getting the lord dump. Son of a bitch.
Quill.
be
What
like
happened here? We'll never know.
I went into a room.
There were pictures on the wall.
Stuff
Some
happened.
dude told me you'd be okay.
I shoved a plum in my belly button.
I learned what a plum is.
Yeah.
After
Like,
the
guys, did you know about plums? Fuck.
after
All
the
the
first,
information net.
yeah. After the first 3 hours, Quill, Yucca comes flying up the stairs and lands and looks at you, and then looks at the big old doors, and then looks at you again, just standing there. And he goes, "What, they piss you off? You don't want to go in, or what?"
I'll kill you.
"What did I do?"
Unfortunately, it seems this is the test.
Says, "Oh, a test, huh? Like, You what? You just got to stand here? That's the test to see if you can stand?
I have a feeling there's more to it, but yes.
Wow. That's a real bummer. Well, I'll see you on the inside, I guess. And when he says that, the doors just. He goes, "You see that? They must know that I used to be a dragon. A majestic green dragon." And he just goes
Oh, God.
sauntering. And they close again.
I'm gonna feed him to a dragon.
Within the next hour, a very familiar voice calls out to you from behind you. Psst. You Quill. Don't turn around. It's me, Zanye. How are you feeling?
Annoyed.
She says, yeah, I told him it was going to annoy you, but Grandmaster Yan Pan, he insisted that you go through the trial. He must really like you, though, because he's making you do this. It means he sees something in you.
Fair enough, I suppose. It's just like you could. He's just voice is dripping with irritation.
Yeah, it's not lost onto her.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, you can do it."
It's not a matter of if I can or cannot. It's not the fucking problem.
She goes, you can make it. She goes, "You've been out here for 4 hours already."
He just sighs. He's like, I could have gone without knowing that.
She goes, "Just 15 more hours to go, and you'll see."
Yeah. Okay.
Says, "Well, all right. I can tell you're not in the mood to talk, so but don't worry.
I'll find you later.
She goes, "Well, I'll be your benefactor. Don't worry about it. I'll bring you some food and some water here in a little bit. All right? We're allowed
Fair
to do that if somebody agrees to be your benefactor. I don't know what you did to tick off Hano, but he was rallying that nobody even try, but I said I'm going to do it, so. And he don't want me breaking his jaw, so."
He seems like a swell gentleman.
She says, "Oh, well, he means well. He's just, well, he's kind of like another guy that I know."
Audibly hear him grit his teeth.
She means you.
She's like, "You better be careful. You'll lose him if you keep doing that." She goes, "You're not making flour, so."
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh if he could have walked in the whole time.
So, yeah, so you say that, yeah, but you get no response. After a few minutes, you realize she's gone. She's gone. And we leave you, Quill, standing out there finishing his trial. And we take the scene now back to Android and Sebastian as Android's finally finishing up the entire tale of what has happened since you guys have been gone. Sebastian is like listening to all of this. without having said a word, without even reacting, even when you told him how you guys are accidentally killing the elements, he does not react. He remains polite and stoic the entire time. And when you're finished, Android, he just looks at you and goes, "Well, seems like you've got yourself a handful here."
I'll
So
say.
So if I understand this correctly, then not the things that you've accomplished withstanding. I mean the stuff on the continent in the Dragoon Shogunate, thwarting the assassination, which good job, mind you. The non-Z farms have contacted us and are sending us their shipments of fire wine already. I mean, it was like they hit the ground running here.
Awesome.
So,
I believe I need to meet with some investors here about that specifically.
he said, "Oh yes, you told me, and I'll arrange that meeting post haste for you." The issues that I see on hand right now is two cataclysmic events that you seem to be involved with. One with the this eldritch being, primordial, I believe you called him, a god who is more than a god, more godly than God, I guess you could say. This Tharuzdan, who you guys have to stop from eliminating all of creation, I suppose. And then this whole
fuck
issue,
it, let him do it.
and this whole issue with the fact that you are halfway there in killing all the elements, correct?
Whoops.
Yes, and not to mention the Pale Knight.
Oh yes. There's her issue, and he said, now the thing is says, so you're dealing with that, this Emma, who, if I'm being honest with you, sounds a lot like this new house that came up, this Lady Emma Desire, as she calls herself. That
I throw
sounds
up
like
in my mouth a little bit.
that sounds like her in a nutshell. So she's surfaced, which I wish you had told me about this Mad Mag, and I would have followed up with her, and perhaps we could have done something about that before it had even came to fruition. But I'm sure this Mag can still assist us in some way, so we'll send information to her and see if she wants to meet, or if she wants us to come and meet her. I don't care to do that, if I'm being honest. You said she lives in a hole in the wall, and I'm not in a burrow, and that just sounds dirty. It sounds
What?
filthy. He goes, you know how much? Never mind. And then he like stops himself because he realizes he's about to tell you how much his wardrobe cost, and then he realized, well, it's not my money. I shouldn't tell him how I'm spending his money.
On the house.
He just kind of bites his tongue and it says, and then there's this issue with the golden church.
Correct. White clergy of the Golden Sword.
Yes. Here. Apparently there's some kind of infiltration going on there as well.
Yes, also correct.
It says that, my lord, is what we call, what my father used to call having too many irons in the fire.
Correct.
So, if I may, with your permission, I'd like to go about perhaps finding a way to.
Outsource.
Yes, outsource this to others. Some of it, just some of it. He's like, because mind you, also, you were saying something about your friend Otis having something to do with a disease that you were approached about. But then Otis had vanished for a while. You said he was in the nine hells for a little while, and now he's back. And he doesn't even remember that he has a friend, one of the egalitarian chamber, needing to speak with him.
Correct.
He says, so that right there is a porthole going directly to High Forest. And we probably could just send him to go and speak with him whenever he's ready. That will handle some of our problems, I think.
Good deal.
Says, and then I'll see what I can do about finding suitable candidates for this outsourcing problem we have. Wannabe adventurers, if you will. We'll give them one shot to prove themselves.
We'll establish a heroes guild.
Well, there's already an adventurers league. If you do that, they're not gonna appreciate that. Oh, and that reminds me. You're gonna need to speak with them as soon as possible. You have gotten a summons from House Hemlock. They're not too happy with you.
Why?
Well, funny you should mention that. So, House Hemlock, their bread and butter is liquor. And you have, with House Volt bringing the Graven Ale, which you need to go and speak with House Volt as well about that matter. I feel now, after you telling me what had taken place between you and the Sunder Barbarian Draken Magus and the deal you had struck with Beargrave's de facto king, Angus Bearclaw. I feel that's where House Volt is coming from. They established a house here, and now they're basically making money off of us for giving us the Graven Ale, the Graven mead. But they've been wanting to speak with you for a while. House Hemlock's not happy because they've made their bread and butter off of that, off of liquor and the different spirits. And now you have not only the fire wine coming from the Nanzi Farms fire wine industry that's been set up here in White Sword in the nation, but you're also getting exclusive liquor from House Volt. You see what that does to them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, just sounds like they're mad that I make good deals.
Well, yes, that's exactly why they're mad. And while I don't disagree with you, and I'm not saying one way or another that you need to make peace or not, it's just proper etiquette to go and speak with him. With one lord going to speak with the other lord of a house when grievances have arisen. This is the not so fun etiquette of being the lord of a manor.
Kind of huffs a little bit, and he's like, so much bureaucracy being established. He kind of thinks for a moment, and he's like, or maybe it was always there and I just ignored it. He's like, very well. I understand what you're saying. I'll hear what they have to say about it.
Also, I will send message to the Sovereign Dylan Owens that you did take care of the Draken Magus problem. That'll get us some good brownie points within this bureaucracy, as you so eloquently put it. Says also, and with this, he kind of his voice lowers, like almost like instinctively, even though, like, you know what I mean. It becomes kind of like
That's how some people do out of habit.
Yeah, like this almost becomes deathly just because of what he's talking about now. He goes, also, House Crow has come to realize that House for Risen has risen again.
Ours.
The very house that burnt ours to the ground all those years ago are once again aware. They have not declared war. That's not the way things are done here, of course. But I've already spoken with their liaison, Patori Crow. He says, kind of like trying not to sound so, he's trying to keep his demeanor. He says, Lord Corvinus Crow wants to speak with you. He wants an audience with the new master of House for Risen. Says this isn't a declaration of war. No, we'd have to prove that Corvinus even had anything to do with what had happened to us all those years ago. And he's not going to admit it, and we can't prove it. But you will have to hold audience with him. And I'm telling you this because I need you to keep from trying to strangle him to death when you finally come face to face with the man who's responsible for our respected family's demise. We will find a way to get our revenge, but we just cannot right now. And because House Crow is the greatest house in all of the houses right now, it is impossible for us to deny having an audience with him.
He kind of rubs his chin for a moment, and then sits back in his chair and kind of puts his foot up on his knee, and he's like, it'll be a process, of course, but what we'll aim to do is crush them with the money and force their hand. And he says, at that point, we were defending ourselves.
Says, very well. As long as you can keep from acting rash, I can get started on said process.
We'll start to try and build good relationships with the other guilds. That way they're inclined to, side with us, I suppose.
Said, yes, well, you will need to go and meet with each guild leader. And I would also suggest meeting with each house lord as well. Any who will have an audience with you. I don't know. But I'm sure some of them will meet with you. I'm sure all of them will meet with you in one way or another. I know the guilds will. The guilds will be interested in meeting with you, and that's where the money comes in, because if we can make good trade with the guilds, well, there you have it.
He kind of nods. He's like, it of course can't be done overnight, but like you said, that's precisely why I needed to come back.
Precisely. Says also, I have some people here wanting to hold an audience with you. A few interested parties that you. One, he's been staying here at the inn free until he can meet with you. His name is Jared Steele. You wanted us to track down something about for your weapon you call the Bad Day.
Oh, yes.
Yes, this Jared Steele claims that he knows exactly what you're talking about and can help you with that.
What a stud.
There's also a half-orc here, seafaring fellow by the name of Dargus Wave Smasher. He was more for your friend you Quill, who was wanting to know something about a certain corsair captain of some ship or something. And this Dargus says that he knows this corsair and can give us information on said issue.
Very good.
And then it's just good to meet with Camo and Dressen, who have been heading up the forge and the alchemy sales that we have been doing. Along with just speaking with Hargrow, Lord Hargrow, your head of security, and Cal, the head of your tavern, and Bob, I'm sure, would like to hear from you as well. Just our staff in general. Also, we've got a half-drow trollop who came here saying that she was like a part of some deal that you Quill made or something. Yes. Information in return or something for her.
Her herself?
Yes. She belongs to you Quill.
She said her former lord Farrun promised her to you Quill if you all could achieve some kind of yes, of course. That's the deal. And then he remembers what you told him about the crystals, the ethereal shell. He says, so you guys got okay. Huh. I wonder when that's gonna come through. Because that'll be good money in our pockets. And if we can start forging ethereal shell armor, we'll corner the market on magics. Magic users from all over will come to us if we can turn out ethereal shell armor.
True magic, mind up. Write this down.
You Quill's harem. Fuck all that.
And he looks at you, Android, and he goes, "You Quill really bartered for that girl?"
He's kind of like, well, I know how that sounds, and this is you Quill we're talking about here.
Oh well, I'm not judging him on like his moral or ethics. Really, I'm just his morals or ethics. I'm just thinking he got ripped off. That's all.
Well, he's like, hold on now.
Whereas
normally I agree with you in general about, the drow. He kind of waves his hand. He's like, really, in some sensibility, if you think about it, there's a mercy being done there. When you consider the idea that Farrun was, just kind of assuming the position of the drow woman in society, since he's got a leverage point to do so. I understand also that's partially because you got to keep a drow woman in check. He kind of chuckles. He's like, but whatever. Quill's the guy to do it. And kind of waves his hand a little bit. And he's like, I trust he'll do all right. And he's like, for that matter, I mean, on a technicality, I bartered for Chumi for Zoltan. So
Says, oh yes.
he kind of shrugs.
Says, yes. Well, you might have gotten ripped off on that one as well, but it's just
You
not
can't
my
put
taste.
a price on love. You kind of smiles.
It's just not. It's not my taste. That's all. I would have bartered for something a little bit more
With the stick?
Sturdy. He says, sturdy.
He's like, she could use some training. She could use some training. He kind of nods. He's like, she doesn't know how to fight at all.
Says, there's not enough training in the world to fix those, but whatever.
Nice.
That's neither here nor there. To each their own, I suppose. He says, yes. But first things first, before all this meeting of all this bureaucracy that you're talking about and all these things, because I know it's a lot, and I agree, it's a lot. First things first, tomorrow morning, you and what members of the Inglorious Few are here need to go meet with the Adventurers League. And have that taken care of. Immediately.
Okay.
And,
Sounds good.
Fuck.
I'll put on clean clothes. He smiles.
Says, all right. And he stands up and like fixes his robe, like kind of ties his belt a little bit tighter because all this movement has caused it to come loose a little bit. And he's feeling a little bit like hanging out there.
Vulnerable.
You know? Yeah. He's just like, all right, well. And he says, I'm going to retire to bed. You know where your room is. He goes, oh, no, you don't. And he goes over and he looks at the books on the bookshelf and he pulls one and one of the bookshelf doors entire shelves just slides over to the side. And in there is just a grand master bedroom. And he goes, I had it made especially for you, my lord.
Sweet.
He says, enjoy. The rest of the riffraff can sleep upstairs where they belong.
Well, thank you, Sebastian.
Says, no, thank you. Thank you for coming back. Says, I'm going to retire now. And he yawns. And opens up the office door and just kind of whistles, just does like a little. And you see Lulu, the little winged fox, just come running down the hallway and fly into his arms. He's like, good girl. I know Daddy woke you up when he went to get up to see the Lord, but he's the Lord of the manor, and we have to say hello when he comes.
When Sebastian leaves, when Android's kind of going into his room, he kind of stops before he shuts the door, and he thinks to himself for a moment about what Mind Doc says. He's kind of like, you can't do both. And he just kind of closes the door and heads to bed.
The bookshelf just. What about Mind Doc? Huh?
Oh, my... yeah, I would have seen that, right?
No, you guys are in the...
His little eye. He's got the eye following us.
Oh, you would have seen all of that. Yeah, you would have seen all of it. Now, can the eye hear it? Or can you just
No,
see?
I'm pretty sure it doesn't hear, but... Hang on, I might as well double check, but I'm pretty sure it don't. But also, it needs to, like, return to me before... before, like, I get it. Like, it sees everything, and then it flies back to me. And I, like, grab it, and then I get
the information.
sort of, yeah.
Okay.
But... Cool. Yeah, I was just wondering. No.
Yeah, so because it doesn't hear, what it gets the equivalent of is like at least an hour or two, like 2 hours worth of just like static footage of just two people sitting there talking.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't get interesting until like you see the false bookcase move and him go into his, you know what I mean? And then
Well, I get the
shut.
memories in a flash, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I know where the bookcase is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, at some point I think Mandic will just retire to one of the rooms. But I will set up my my own like the doorway in the room. And actually, I'll kind of do it in the doorway to the room, so if someone comes looking, then they still like find me. It just kind of they will stumble into the fucking.
So do you
hideaway.
just like do you do one of those like rune deals where you just put the rune, the mark on the door, so the door acts as a de facto like entry into the manor or into your
Yeah, as long as I can get
dimensional
rid of it.
manor?
I can.
Yeah,
It's
well-
been a minute, but
You can what you can do is like you can disable it. And
Yeah,
then
cool.
Enable it as as you please.
perfect. Yeah, I'll do so.
Okay, so that door now. So the guards just watch. The guards just watch as they've all been notified by Sebastian that new guests have arrived to let them do. So they just kind of watch in like strange, interest as this mage just comes up and scratches the symbol onto the door and then activates it and then walks in and they watch as you open the door. I'm granted, and I'm gonna just so Mindoc knows, he's not worried about doing this in front of them because he knows for a fact that he could do anything in front of them magically and they would not be able to understand it.
Yeah. If they're there, actually, I'll just say before I enter, if one of my companions is searching for me, you know where I can be found. Yes. Sort of gestures at the door.
They just salute. Yes,
I just
sir.
nod at them. Step in through.
Yeah, they watch as you open that door, and now they don't see the bedroom. They see this like giant manor, and they're like, one of them's like, "What in the nine hells?" It's the door just shuts on his face.
It's House of Leaf.
Yeah, yeah. What about my Otis and Zoltan?
Oh, I assumed that Zoltan is, after he's had a couple of drinks, that he's retired to his room with Chumi.
Get jiggy with it.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, we don't need to go all deep into that.
No.
I know.
No, I need.
Get in there deep, Get in there deep.
We're not going to do that. I'm not having.
I
this
need the
conversation
sultry
with him.
roleplay.
I'm to Chile Masacrante.
Let me put it to you like this: this is the most comfortable you and Chumi have been in a long minute, and you take full advantage of it.
Vanilla
you
ass,
hear-
right?
She even lets you know just how safe she feels.
Nice.
All you know is they're testing out that clapper like a
She
motherfucker right now.
she loves this place. All the sights, the smells, the warm bed.
That's good because I'm pretty sure Android's about to put her ass to work.
Nice. I hope you're ready to keep this motherfucker chew clean.
When you say that to her, she says, "Well, I know how to dance."
Whoa.
She goes,
Check,
"I."
please.
Oh,
She goes, "I know." She goes, "I know how to do the dance of the veils." She goes, "Yeah, I can work. I know how to do the dance of the veils." She goes,
Yeah,
"Back
she knows how to
before."
work.
She goes, "Back before I became indentured servitude. That's how me and my family made money. We were all dancers. My forefather,
Is pimping easy? Hell
always-
yeah.
My poor
Well,
father. He always wanted a son, but all he got was 7 daughters. So we made the dance of the 7 veils.
Mm.
She goes, I was the 4th veil, but we all knew each other's roles. She goes, I could do all 7.
I
But can
see.
she peek it?
Mm.
She says, I mean, I don't know if your little tea house, she calls the tavern a tea house. If the tea house down there needs entertainment, I can do the dance of the 7 veils.
I will let Android know that.
cool
She
it
says-
is.
She says, cool. And then like pulls you in and anyways, what is Otis doing?
Pulling it in.
Otis goes to bed alone.
Otis goes to bed alone.
He got a hand, don't he?
Oh, wow.
He can listen to the clapper going off. That's what he can do.
Pull on that motherfucker.
Not how thick the walls
All
are.
it, all they can hear is the hot too.
How does how is Otis feeling though? Like in all seriousness, how is Otis feeling?
I mean, better than when he did when he almost had his head pulled off.
Right, right. He's finally back in, on Siren. He's returned here, and this is the first time you've been back since you've escaped the 9 hells. Go ahead and roll. Just go ahead and roll a wisdom for me.
I was hoping you were saying sanity. Am I really here?
Is this it?
The bookcase.
Oh,
A 7.
Oh.
So your memories have become kind of fractured. You know what I'm saying? Just from the trauma that both your body and spirit have had to go through. More or less the body more than the spirit, but because the body keeps trying to reject the spirit and the spirit keeps trying to reject the body because one sat in like the most purest place you can get, while the other sat in the most like most sacrilegious place you can get. You know what I mean? They keep warring with each other from time to time, and it's caused your memories to kind of fracture a little bit. There's certain things that you feel like you should remember, but you just can't quite put your finger on it. And as of right now, things just feel really foreign to you. What feels like should be a homecoming, you feel kind of out of place.
the one thing that is on Otis's mind is the giant tree that sprouted at Sunder Mountain.
Yeah. Okay. That you're working really hard to remember the significance of that. But there is something else too that's just gnawing at you that you can't quite put your finger on. You're like, there was something else. And I just don't know. But
He's
the
hitting
tree,
himself in the head trying to remember.
yeah, but the tree thing as well. That I'll let you roll another wisdom to see if you can't quite just, get it. Well, look at that.
Yeah.
From 1 to 20.
Yeah.
Look at that. try to push all of that back, the other stuff, and you just start focusing real hard on this tree, and it just comes back to you. You remember the prayer. You remember your buddy Milo, and you remember how Mind Doc blew Milo up, and you're like,
instant rage.
yeah, you're like, that's why I hate that mother. That's one of the reasons why I hate that mother. When you guys were at war, when you guys were assisting Corlon Larethian and the Wolf Song elves, wood elves, take on the Groomsh orcs, and you remember going to that battle, and in the fallen city, you remember Milo being destroyed accidentally. But I'll bet he was destroyed by Mind Doc when you guys took down Luthic, Groomsh's wife. And you remember planting a seed there in that city and praying to Obad High to make a tree there in memory of Milo. And you just know that that's that tree. This massive tree that supposedly sprung up out of nowhere. And the Sunder Barbarians have now made it their base camp. And then you remember Hoborian, the Alpha Formian, and how he was using Milo to try and betray you, but Milo rejected that, because this entire time you thought Milo was a boy, but it turned out it was a girl, and Milo was like in love with you and was willing to sacrifice her life to protect you, which she did. And you remember Hoborian just being like, she was a peasant. And it's all starting to just kind of slowly come back to you now. You remember chasing Hoborian. You remember chasing the Thanafex staff. You remember battling Eli Cunning and being sent to Eden. But there was something else. You just can't quite put your finger on it. There was something else in the middle of all of that you were trying to stop. There was like a certain urgency there, and you can't seem to recall it. But now you know that the Sunder Barbarians are using Milo's tree as their they've built their fortress around it. And Hoborian and the Formians never quite ever got defeated either. But there was one more thing.
Quest to kill Hoborian.
Yeah, there was one more thing though. There was one more thing. There was one more thing you were trying to do, and you just can't remember. So the Sunder Barbarians are using Milo's tree as their base camp, and the Sunder Barbarians are not good people. You remember fighting them. They're like soulless barbarian savages. You even remember Quill killing one with his bare hands. One of their leaders, Throck. And you remember Hoborian and the Formians are still around. Somewhere. They're obviously not as big of a threat as they once were. But they're still around somewhere.
Is it gonna walk to the closest wall and slam his face into it and try to remember?
What else was there? What else was there? Oh yeah, just for the record, Solar's been on Android's shoulder this entire time. He just hasn't
Gang
been
member.
saying yeah, he just hasn't been saying much. He just kind of hangs out. If Solar doesn't say anything, most of the time you could just assume that he's just hanging out on his shoulder, just taking it all in.
Right.
You know? Yeah, and Crow has been with the Garrigus this entire time also. I didn't even
Nice.
think about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crow's
shit. I
just
actually
been-
didn't either, but they're just chilling
Yeah.
too.
Crow's just been chilling on a Garrigus's head. Which is also, I'm going to point out, is also one of Yampan Lu's fascinations with a Garrigus. The fact that this crow is just nesting on his head. He's not aware that the crow can speak, so he just thinks it's fascinating.
Yeah, they
gonna
don't
read
always
through.
want it to be obvious they can speak either, so that's kind of partially why they don't always
A
talk.
ride upon a ride.
He's like, I wonder what this symbiotic relationship is. You know?
Perfect display of order amongst chaos.
He's like, Uquill
Facts.
rides the back of the three-headed beast. The mushroom rides the back of Uquill, and the bird rides the back of the mushroom. He's like, the number 4. What is so important about four elements? Chaos and
Nice.
order. You know what I mean? Like,
You're fucking
he's
stupid.
yeah, but you have to admit, I went somewhere with that.
You
Yeah.
cooked with that one. I'll give you it.
Yeah.
I'll give
He's
you
like,
it.
he's like, ooh, you know, he's really thinking about it. You know, he feels like he's come across something significant here.
It's absolutely nothing.
You don't know that. Don't
It's
test me. I'll
arbitrary.
make it something.
It's arbitrary.
Yeah.
Which is why you're sitting outside.
Yes.
Yeah. This is why you're outside.
Facts.
Yeah. Because you don't believe. Yang Pan Lu
No.
just looks at you and he goes, F you, I know stuff.
Nice.
But with that, we are going to call tonight's session. I know there wasn't a lot that happened, but we're just establishing things here, folks.
Ooh, baby, it's a wild world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're setting things up for more. There's gonna be much more on the way.
Fucking guild.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
don't
so
think
ready
I
to
like
make
them.
business deals. Sorry, go ahead, Munduk. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all I was saying. I don't think we're gonna like them.
I'm interested to see, how everybody is going to interact within the guild, within the house. It's two different things, you know. You have your guilds and you have your houses, right? Guilds are more like traders and different kinds of goods. So houses kind of they're like nobles, and they have their hands in several different kinds of things. Most guilds only trade in one good, while houses trade in multiple, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm just curious to see how the party's gonna do with bureaucracy, how they're gonna manage that.
It's a good thing Uquill's standing outside of a door.
Yeah.
That's really a good thing.
Somebody comes out to Uquill. Just for the record, somebody comes out, looks at Uquill, and they go, "You can't come in because you're too blonde." And then, no,
Nice.
nobody, no. Oh, okay, good. I was like, did anybody catch that joke?
I'll stab you.
His name is Robert Paulson. Anyways, but yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. This is a good This was just a transitioning session, but next week I'm not on call, so we definitely know we're gonna be able to play a session. I was on call tonight, and luckily we didn't get hit up, so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm liking that. So I say as I check my phone to make sure I don't have any missed calls. But yeah, whoopsie. But with that, I want to thank them old school gamers for letting me DM for them yet another session. Thank you guys for making this probably what is the longest running D&D campaign that I think anybody has ever played.
Definitely up there.
Yeah, we're definitely up there. 9 years.
Damn.
Yep, we've been going. I want to thank you Golden Wonders out there who have joined us for yet another session. We appreciate that. So it's going to sound like a shameless plug, but we did start a Patreon. And one of the Patreon perks that's going to be started up there for you folks who tune into these sessions, Android's going to start writing a journal, and that's going to be one of the Patreon perks to see some of the behind the scene thoughts of Android. You're going to get, Well,
you didn't have to talk about it.
Well, but that's what it is, to get Android's journal and the different entries. Yeah, that's just
and for the highest. We'll leak some of the Discord.
Right. Chat logs.
See some of the chat logs. Insta ban worthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that. We'll work on some other D&D exclusive Patreon stuff for the session. Maybe we'll have Android's journal. Maybe we'll do like a day in the life of Agaragis, and we'll just have like a whole 20-minute thing of Agaragis' just inner monologues.
Great. Honestly,
That'd be an
insane. Most
episode.
interesting.
Most of the time it's just crickets.
Yeah. Spell weaving with Mind Doc. We'll figure some things out.
How to cast punch effectively.
Yeah.
We should have a Mind Duck tutorial and a UQuil tutorial on magic.
Yeah.
We'll do
this.
50 Shades of UQuil.
Actually, if people were into it and really wanted it on the Patreon, I would take the time out one of the evenings and do a UQuil Mind Doc magic course where he's trying to explain this shit to UQuil, because UQuil is just not about that life.
That would be beautiful.
I would happily do that.
That would be hilarious.
I think we'll do that. Yeah, we'll set up we'll set up a date and time, guys, and we'll get together and we'll have that. We'll just have a whole little miniature thing where all I'm doing is just recording, and it'll just be a conversation between MindDoc and UQuil. Now, when MindDoc tried to explain to UQuil how magic works.
On the low, we could do that even in character, pre his split, because that's when UQuil actually talk to MindDoc a lot about just stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It'll be an in-character thing. And it could be a the early days, and it'll be
the early days.
V1 talking to UQuil, and
yes, bring back old UQuil. I like this.
Yeah. Yeah,
I feel like old UQuil wouldn't have as big a tolerance for listening. We've had character development. You can tell because there's still a door.
Well, it'll be a very
old. The old
it'll be an
UQuil
extremely intoxicated UQuil. Yeah, I knew where he was going with it. I knew
you get some drink. And you gotta remember, MindDoc and UQuil both went on a couple excursions together.
Yeah.
So there was times where I wouldn't say that there was bonding per se, But when you're stuck with there was like a whole time, like we were
Expensive.
away from the group for almost like a whole day and a half when we fucking, like we would have had a conversation or two.
It'll
For
be
sure.
like,
I don't like people, and I still talk to these motherfuckers.
yeah, it'll be like that scene in Conan the Destroyer where he's trying to teach the sword play, but he's all drunk as crap, and he swings backward and slaps the dude on top of his head. Yeah, that's exactly what it's gonna be like. Only it's gonna be my doc being like, "So magic works like," and you're gonna be like, whatever. It'll just happen
Bringing
naturally,
back
and we will
OG
let it.
Uquill.
Yeah,
It's been a
OG
while.
Uquill, and yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll get together and we'll do that. Also, for you movie lovers out there, on the Patreon right now, we have 2 videos posted of us watching Conan the Destroyer and watching Rocky. Conan the Destroyer, the theme behind that is the idea that Conan the Destroyer is the best D&D movie ever made, and it's not even a D&D movie. And the movie Rocky being the closest thing to a Punch-Out, Nintendo's Punch-Out game movie we're ever going to get.
You left me out on that one?
Well, I was going to get you for Any Given Sunday because I know you love Madden.
Fair.
Yeah, we're
Well,
going
I
to do
love
it.
Any
and
Given
we're
Sunday.
gonna,
I can recite Any Given Sunday to you
I
right
know
now.
you do. I know you do. And that's why I was like, that's the closest thing to a Madden game we're ever going to get. A movie.
That was a great fucking movie.
It is such a good movie, especially when it's doing the Bill Withers,
Yeah.
You keep on using me, especially when it's like,
Yeah.
oh, baby,
Yeah.
baby. They play that whole freaking song and do that
Great
montage. And dude, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it right now. So
It's a great movie.
yeah.
Oh, you
So I was
gotta
gonna hit you up for that one. But for any of you old school gamers that are here right now, if any of you are interested, we're about to watch Brain Scan, a 90s horror movie that is basically, it is the whole premise of the movie is a video game that's a horror game that makes you question reality, and it is wonderful.
No,
It
I'm
is
down.
it is the best movie based, like, it is the best movie based upon a video game that wants to kill you. Let me put it like that.
Sort of
And
online
it's-
beats horror movie. Got it.
And it's 90s. It's all 90s. So it's got Edward Furlong of Terminator 2 fame, John Connor. It's got him in it. And it's just like, I don't know how many of you I know some of you didn't exist in the 90s, but you'll get that. You'll see that 90s. You'll see that, and you'll realize this is because I'm obviously the
This
oldest
is what's
person
wrong with
here.
us.
Yeah, I'm the oldest person here, so it's like, you're going to be looking at that being like, okay, there's his nostalgia right there. Like, this is what it was like for him at that age. You know what I mean? And it's just so good. It's like chef's kiss. So if any of you are interested in that, hit me up. We'll set up a time and we'll watch that and post that to the Patreon too. So for any of you Golden Wonders out there interested in that, join our Patreon and you get some of that exclusive content. For the D&D stuff, we're going to have a conversation between Uquill and Mindoc. Mindoc trying to teach Uquill magic. I don't know what we're going to call that segment yet. We'll have it figured out by the time we post it.
Magic, never heard of her.
Android's Journal, and probably Deep Thoughts with Agaragis, I imagine. And any other suggestions? Any other suggestions you guys have? I'm open for all of them. So, but yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Them old school gamers, thank you for joining me. And yeah, stay golden. We'll see you next week. We'll see you next time in Loxos. I don't want to jinx it and say next week because then my house will collapse or something. Say goodnight, everybody.
All right.